He thought he was in control. How wrong he was.
Come to the dark side, driving. It's the dark side, driving. Come to the dark side, driving. It's the dark side, driving movie club.
From the deepest corner of the darkest universe, two brave hosts battle through nameless hordes of ghoulish monsters most foul, all to bring you the eternal glory of the Dark Side Drive-In.
It's the dark side, driving. It's the dark side, driving. Come to the dark side, driving. It's the dark side, driving movie club. It's the dark side, driving. Come to the dark side, driving. It's the dark side, driving. It's the dark side, driving movie club.
Hey, what's up? It's Shane with Farview Studios, and you are tuning into the Darkside Drive-In, which is our horror-themed podcast where we cover movies from the 80s, sometimes 70s, sometimes 90s. We are dead on 1980. I'm sure there was some stuff filmed in 79, but this one's all 80s per date. But, also, not the remake. So if you've watched the remake, stop everything you're doing right now and go watch Maniac, the 1980 remake. Which is part 2 of what, Stefan?
Is this a bit my intro? Is
yeah
calling me in? All right. It is part 2 of our summer Tri-Slash-A-Thon.
And for the new people, because we have new listeners, so welcome.
How could this have happened?
Science. You just heard the voice of the man, the myth, the legend, Stefan himself. Horror purveyor, master of ceremonies, keeper of the dark side of Dave.
I do keep Darkside Dave in my apartment, but we try not to let him in mainline episodes. We stick him in the intermissions where he belongs.
Yeah, really. We don't pay him for this stuff, so we
only have so many bones.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't have said that. He almost heard, and that would have been bad. But yeah,
he has headphones on.
Okay, good.
He's doing game chat and Phasmophobia, so he can't.
Oh no, he's playing Phasmophobia.
He is. Yeah, it reminds me.
I wonder if he can affect the environment himself to mess with people.
I don't know. Technology and dark sorcery from another dimension. I don't know how they mix.
And then we usually don't do house creeping on this, but this jogged my memory. Sorry.
We literally discussed this right before we started.
So
you said
sorry.
I had no house creeping.
But this won't. You're gonna hear. We have another project coming out that you'll hear probably before our next intermission that would have talked about this. So stay peeled to our socials. You'll see some more stuff come out. We've been playing a lot of Phasmophobia.
Yeah, I took a week off work and I think I played Phasmophobia every night until 4 or 5 in the morning. It was a problem. It's
so good. It's so much fun. And I think we have some plans for that, so we'll have fun. We were having a blast doing it, but
we've been kicking around the idea of possibly streaming it, but I don't know if I'm prepared for the world to see how I react to fictional ghosts in a video game.
Yeah, it's something.
The first time a ghost manifested and I was playing with you, I almost cried.
Dude,
in my defense, you left me there.
Okay, but the thing, it was hunting us, so I went and hid in a closet, and I forgot to tell you that's what you have to do.
He left me in the open.
Yeah, it shut the door on him, and he thought I closed the door on him to lock him in the room, and I'm like, no, that's going to be your life now as you play this game. It's going to be a nonstop roller coaster of this thing just messing with you constantly. But yeah.
And I was just like, Shane, let me out. I was screaming it, and then it turns out he's just in a closet.
I was literally behind you.
Well, then afterwards you came out, and you're and I was like, wait, how'd you get in here? And he's like, I was hiding in the closet. It's like, that's a thing you can do?
Yeah.
You just left me out there as bait to watch me die?
Yeah. So, but hey, enough about that. What are we here to accomplish today?
Well, as I said, it's part 2 of our 3-part summer Tri-Slash-A-Thon. It's the Tri. We're going to be talking about the 1980 classic Maniac, featuring a maniac. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
It was actually on release very poorly received because of the realistic gore and the very I don't know how you describe it, like almost snuff film, like exploitation-esque subject matter. So it kind of like blurs the line between one of the early slashers, you know, since it came out in 1980. It was actually filmed mostly in 79. So earlier when you said maybe somebody will get to 79, it's like we kind of are in 79. And later on, when I talk about one of the Maniac's outfits, he looks like Leisure Suit Larry. So,
He totally does. Glasses and like a jacket, everything.
the full like the collar, it was nuts. But yeah, when this movie came out, I want to say that there's a particular scene when we get to it. I'll bring it up again, where like Gene Siskel of Siskel and Ebert just walked out of the theater. He's like, "All right, this is too much violence for me."
I can guess which one it was.
Yeah, I think that they were a little too hard on it. I think it does have like a very exploitation feel, but I think that it actually has more content than that, which we'll get to later. We don't discuss that now. That's for later, Shane. We don't discuss it now.
We don't discuss it now. It's for later.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what we could discuss now?
What's that?
Everybody's favorite segment. The reason we're here. For the unindoctrinated, this is our creepy questionnaire, where we try to stump the man, the myth, the legend, Stefan himself with horror-based trivia. But first, we have to give the answer from last full line episode. It used to be weekly. Now we are
we're bi-weekly, kind of.
Yeah,
we do our best.
But so we asked the question, like, what was the cause of the fog from the movie The Fog, and you said.
The pirates they're not pirates. The crew, like the dead, were getting their revenge on the town.
Yeah, so like I think the specific like lingo was like ghost revenge or something like that. But
yeah,
Stefan, you were correct.
Yeah, the townspeople like stole their gold and like killed them.
Yeah,
and yeah,
I hate when they steal gold.
Can't be stealing people's gold.
Can't be
what
stealing
is this,
gold.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, but I've got a good one for you. I think you're going to get this one. I don't know. I had a couple hard ones lined up that I never would have gotten, so I'm like, I can't ask this. And we talked about it before, and we both agreed that it was literally... I don't even know if they talk about it in the movie, but anyways. But Stefan, I've got a really good question for you about horror, but I have an even more scary question to ask you.
Oh, no.
Are you ready?
I do think that I am the readiest I've ever been.
Insert weirdly thematic music. Okay, getting ready for this one. This is a short one, but it's good. Which two colors make up Freddy Krueger's striped sweater?
I believe that it's black and red.
Okay, so for folks, I haven't done this in a while. I'm gonna do this, so please check us out on our socials at the Darkside Drive-In. And I will post this question on Instagram and Facebook. So see if you can beat Stefan or agree with him. And okay, so you will have to tune in next time on part 3 of our 3rd annual Summer Tri-Slash-A-Thon. This is our 3rd time. It's great. We're loving it, having a great time out here. Pulls out, ghouls out, watching people getting their heads cut off, all kinds of fun stuff.
We're having a good time. We're having a ball, as they say.
Yeah, but hey, before we get into like the cast and crew, is there anything you wanted to go, or should we just or talk about, or should we just get right into who's in this movie? Because look, I'm pretty pumped to talk about this movie for a lot of reasons, but it's got one of our show favorites in both the cast and the crew.
You're talking about one of Pittsburgh's favorite sons, Tom Savini.
Yes,
correct. Yeah,
so.
I think the only thing I wanted to bring up before that was just that for our 3rd episode of the Summer Tri-Slash-A-Thon, we do have a guest lined up. So get excited. We just have to finalize our scheduling, but she's watched the movie. She's got it. She said she took some notes, so we'll find out. I guess it's a hint of who the person might be.
Yeah. So it's Darkside Dave's sister, Darkside Donna.
That's crazy. If Dave had any siblings, he would have absorbed them for their mana by now.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. This is new for us. We've had a guest on before. We had McMurder of the movie fame on for Goalies 3, Goalies Go to College.
We did.
And then we had the interview where we interviewed Matthew Schmidt about Mr. Sandman. Check that movie out. It's great. It's on Tubi, Amazon, and YouTube. I'm going to get into that in a second. But anyways, so it's kind of new for us. So bear with us. I have some things coming up that I might miss an episode or two. So our friend has agreed to step in if needed. So we're just kind of doing a thing where all of us are on an episode, and if it works out, then I don't know. We'll see where it goes from there. But we're kind of just I don't say we're going to wing it, but it's kind of uncharted territory for us. So forgive us if there's any sort of awkwardness, I guess. So I think that would be
us.
I won't forgive us. This will be her first podcast, right?
What's that?
This will be like her first time on a podcast, right?
I think on this side of it, yeah.
Okay.
She did like some production side stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, I believe this will be her first time on this side of the microphone, as it were.
Cool. And then we did another horror creator reached out to us on Instagram, a film director, and she asked us to check out. They have like a horror short running on YouTube. That actually will come out on 7/26. So it'll be after you hear this. It'll be out at the time of this recording. But you're going to hear about that a lot more in our next intermission. So cool.
Correct. Yeah. I always feel bad when people reach out for things that are like time sensitive, because our schedule is erratic and almost always later than we expected. So,
well, and I told her like we are looking for content, and she said if it comes out before the episode comes out before the episode releases, she said just keep it spoiler free. If it comes out after, we can get into more detail. But I think I told her we kind of like to be spoiler free, because these horror movies, a lot of the experience is just watching the movie for the first time and kind of living those moments, I guess. So like it kind of sucks if you get it ruined by a podcast or YouTube or TikTok, or pick a medium. So,
dude, TikTok is egregious about ruining movies. It's almost
it's
insane.
so bad. I've had so many movies ruined, like even recently. I don't even know how people must be in theaters like filming the screen. I don't, or stealing it. I don't know how they're getting the access to this stuff, but
the feast, it's ruined.
Hey, speaking of ruined feasts,
terrible transition. Just awful. My God. All right. Yes. Let's head on in to the cast and crew of Maniac from 1980. We mentioned it already. The director is William Lustig. If you want to go through his whole body of work, I think we covered him pretty thoroughly in Maniac Cop. It's kind of hard to tell. We've gotten more thorough as we went, and then we got less thorough, and then we got more thorough again. So I don't know which part of the ebb and flow that was. But, he has a huge body of work, 132 producer credits. Started out in pornography, as all the greats do. Violation of Claudia and Hot Honey were two I put from that list. But some that'll come up later, stuff like Vigilante, Hit List, Relentless, Maniac Cop 2, obviously, Maniac Cop 3, Badge of Silence, The Expert, Uncle Sam, stuff like that. He's an actor in a lot of his own movies. He acted in Darkman and Army of Darkness, which I think I covered last time. And he also, in this very movie, plays at the beginning when our protagonist, I guess we'd say, picks up a prostitute.
Hero?
Yeah, hero ? When he picks up a prostitute and goes to a hotel, he's the guy who's like the guy at the desk of that hotel. So
yeah, Al.
Is that? Yeah, his name is Al.
Yeah, it's Al. Yeah. And he's like, hey, you want that color TV? It's like $5.
Yeah, sure. That's what he's here for.
You want cable? It's $25.
Yeah. So, yeah, William Lustig. I think also last time I mentioned that he had a really good interview with Joe Bob Briggs on the last drive-in.
You did.
I'm sure that episode has been taken down, but they do, if you have Shudder, they do have like the Just Joe Bob segments, so you can still experience at least the interview if you can't watch the movie alongside it. But you can always just throw on Tubi on another screen, watch Maniac Cop there while you watch the interview. Now that's 4D, baby. that's immersion.
That's
All right.
immersion.
Yeah, it is immersion. Isn't that what people are all about right now? Hold on.
I guess.
Quick derailed. So
Yes.
what the hell is an immersive dining experience, and why do people keep telling me about them? What does that mean? Like, you sit at a table, now I'm immersed, or like?
I think it's supposed to be like they try to hit all your senses. So there'll be like sounds playing. There'll be like smells, like the candles will be like scented and stuff on the table.
Maybe I just have like a perpetual baseline of anxiety, but there's never a time that I'm in a place and I'm not aware that I'm in a place with other people. Like, I'm not in the comfort of my own apartment.
So immersive I have a dark secret that I guess I'm going to share now.
Yeah, exercise it here in this very public media.
I like rom-coms. So it's a problem. I've been trying to get help by watching slasher movies every summer for 3 years. But one of my favorites that's come out in recent years is Always Be My Maybe on Netflix. And,
is that the one with like Randall Park?
Yes. Asian gem for those of you who don't know who Randall Park is, who is a very accomplished comedian and actor.
He was one of those sitcoms. It was like pretty long running, right? Was it Fresh Off the Boat? Was that the one that he was in?
I don't remember. But what I will say though is that this cast has a lot of really talented comedians in it. It also has a guest appearance from Keanu Reeves playing himself. And he plays like the super into himself, like self-indulgent, like asshole actor kind of character type, which he is not at all. Like famously, he is like pretty much a normal dude that's pretty chill. And they go to an immersive dining experience, and it's like a steak. And then they play the sound of the cow mooing as you're eating the steak of the same cow that you're just about to eat. And he's like crying and eating the steak at the same time. And he just is like, why? And he cuts the steak and eats it. So that it's kind of funny. And then, so if you are in for like a good laugh, and I also like hip hop. So he's in a hip hop band and the music is fantastic. He actually raps. In real life, he actually raps. So he does the music for the movie and it's phenomenal. Like the songs are actually fantastic. So I non-horror recommendation, Always Be My Maybe on Netflix. It's hilarious. So
what you're saying is one day you want to, instead of doing a horror movie, you want to bait and switch everybody and sneak in a rom-com for no reason.
That would be funny. If we do an April Fool's one, that would be a solid joke.
I did recently get Sleepless in Seattle on VHS.
There's something about those movies. It's like my two movies, like people getting cut up like repeatedly, and rom-coms. It's like Hallmark movies and like really bad horror movies. Good. So they're not bad, but I think everyone understands at this point.
What's the one where Keanu Reeves is in a house and then someone else is in the house at a different time and they send each other letters in the mailbox?
Oh my God, dude. I was just thinking
they're
about
like
this
in
movie.
A lake house, I think.
Is that it? Is it Lake House?
It might be called the Lake House.
I think it is. I think it is a Lake House. I think we got it one. It totally is the Lake House. That is amazing.
Nice. It's like
you
got
also
mail,
like
but with
rom-coms. You can tell everyone.
No,
okay.
I will refuse. I'll never admit this.
You like You've Got Mail. Don't.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? I just admitted that I had Sleepless in Seattle on VHS. Like I can't.
Which is the other Tom Hanks Meg Ryan.
Vehicle, yeah.
Which in like a 2-year span they were in 2 movies together, or whatever, 3 years.
Yeah,
God,
I could
pre
not
9/11. What a time to be alive.
Kids will never understand the time.
Kids will never understand.
Let's transition away from this. Hope you cut that out, but I'm sure you're not gonna.
I'm fucking leaving everything. Sorry. I mean, I did a swear.
You're allowed to. We've talked about how my mom only cares when I swear.
But she's like the only one that defends me from you, so I gotta pick my battles.
Well, she might not be able to for a while because I think she lost her Spotify login.
Oh no!
She got logged out. It's like, how do you get logged out of Spotify? Like it's forever. All right, we gotta get moving, man. We're running out of daylight here. For the writers, we have C.A. Rosenberg and Joe Spinell. For C.A. Rosenberg, this is it. And I'm going to cover Joe Spinell's work later because Joe Spinell is what you might call a double threat for this picture.
Maybe triple.
Yeah, depending on if you think there's an extra thing that is there, I guess.
Depending on how well you model, it's a triple threat.
All right. So let's park writers for right now. Original music is another familiar name, Jay Chataway, who we discussed a little bit in Maniac Cop. So I kind of like the idea that William Lustig likes to reuse people. I mean, I guess that's like a lot of directors do that, but yeah. I believe that William Lustig originally wanted to use Goblin for this because William Lustig has Goblin rules. But like William Lustig has like a relationship with Dario Argento. I think he was like a production assistant on like a couple of the Giallos. I want to say Tenebrae, maybe Inferno. I have such a hard time with all like the number of people who work on the same movies with Giallos to tell who's directing this and who's writing it and who's producing it. I think I discussed that during The Church. So put a little, what do you, in those comic books when they have like the asterisk in the box, it's like, see issue this of this. And then it, like, I'm like, see episode The Church to see my confusion over Giallo get straightened out. But we covered Jay Chataway and Maniac Cop, but we'll run through real quick, just a couple of them. Vigilante, Missing in Action, Invasion USA, Silver Bullet, Braddock Missing in Action 3, The Ambulance, but not Ambulance, that's more recent Ambulance. 5 episodes of National Geographic specials, 42 episodes of Star Trek TNG, 59 episodes of DS9, and 54 episodes of Voyager, so the important stuff. And then I guess 28 episodes of Enterprise if you're into Scott Bakula. There you go, Jay Chataway. Solid bunch of credits there. Moving on to, as we said before, one of Pittsburgh's favorite sons, Tom Savini. We covered thoroughly in The Prowler. So
thoroughly.
Yeah. I don't know if we have to go too deep. And like everyone knows Tom Savini. If you don't know Tom Savini, what are you even doing here? Who even are you?
I don't know. But
yeah, he obviously, relationship with George Romero, did a couple of the Friday the 13th. I want to say, the first one and then the final chapter. Obviously, The Prowler, because we did The Prowler and we loved it. Just tons of body of work that he has and a lot of acting, obviously. What's his biggest acting role, would you say? Land of the Dead?
Dusk Till Dawn.
I knew you were going to say Dusk Till Dawn because
Sex
you're
Machine.
correct.
Dude, he has got a crotch pistol. Like, let's go. Come on.
You're right. Yeah. I just love how often he plays like a biker guy. And a lot of
I know. It's so good.
But yeah, Tom Savini, frequently at conventions. If you're in the Pittsburgh area, if you follow his Instagram, sometimes he takes pictures of like really cool murals and stuff around the city, which is awesome. So there you go. Another special effects person is someone else who we've covered, which is Rob Botton from Piranha. So then I went down to the last special effects person, which was Candace Clements. She has a few things, Deadly Hero, Luggage of the Gods, Tiger Warsaw, She's Back, Fly By Night. She also has some acting roles. It says here that she's in Maniac? Wait, can it be this very film?
What?
Let's find out, shall we? And we shall, because it's time to go to the cast. That's how you...
It is, yeah, that's a good transition.
That was actually a great transition. And then
I fell over. That was quick. That was slick. That was a good one.
It was good until I stepped on it. And like I was like, oh, did you see how good that transition was? Yeah, so we got our man Frank Zito, or the Maniac. In my notes, I kind of go between calling him Frank and calling him the Maniac. It's played by Joe Spinell, the writer. Pretty huge body of work for him. He's a well-known character actor. The Godfather, where he played Will Seachy. Godfather Part 2, Sam Roll. Strike Force, Farewell My Lovely, which I just put because it's an adaptation of a novel by Raymond Chandler, who I love. Taxi Driver. He played Gazzo in Rocky. He's in Sorcerer, but not that one. And if you know which Sorcerer I'm talking about, you know the one I mean. Star Crash. So fans of... if you're a fan of Mystery Science Theater 3000, Star Crash was one of those episodes. He played Count Zarth Arn in the Star Crash episode, ironically with Carolyn Monroe, who may come up soon. She's in this movie. Last Embrace, Winter Kills, Rocky 2, Movie Madness, Vigilante, Night Shift, but not that one, not the Stephen King one.
I actually like this Night Shift.
Oh, that was Graveyard Shift, actually. Night Shift was the book. So, yeah, he can't star in that.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. The last horror film, The Last Fight, The Big Score, The Pickup Artist, Married to the Mob, and then I think one of his last credits was Rapid Fire. He unfortunately passed away in 1989, and because of his heavy involvement with this, he was very hurt by the critical reception of it, which I will address some of that, I guess, later on. This probably during the during the judgment categories, but who knows? Anything else for Joe Spinell before I move on? .org?
Yeah, like his body of work is pretty deep for how long he was in acting. Unfortunately, did pass away pretty young. It's sad because he everything he's in, he gives it 110%, which is kind of sounds stupid, but like this movie is. We were texting back and forth, and I'm like, man, this guy is like next level.
He does.
So
He
it kind of
puts in
sucks
the
we
work,
can see
yeah.
what. Yeah, we could see what kind of came through the 90s and 2000s and whatnot. So yep.
Well, I thought it was funny because when I was like, Count Zarth Arn? You mean like the bad guy from Star Crash? Because it's one of my favorite of the later seasons of. I think it was during the Netflix years that one was a part of. So it's one of my favorite of like the Netflix years. I went back and I rewatched it. He's like unrecognizable. He's playing like a sci-fi serial villain in that. He's just walking around. It's like, ha 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 ha, like laughing to his robot minions who have no sense of humor or emotion. It's just it's like such a big role. He like just eats it up. So it's just the contrast between his role here and his role in that is just night and day. It's crazy. Are you looking it up to see what Count Zarth
I am
Arn
right now,
looks like?
dude. I am.
He has a cape. Let me tell you that much. His hair is like twisted into 2 points on each side of his head. Do you need me to spell Zarth Arn for you?
No, I'm in here. Judd Hamilton's in this. Caroline Monroe. Dude, this
Star
was
Crash?
like...
Yeah, did you
Damn,
see
dude.
one of our boys, Marjo Gortner?
Yeah. Oh my god, this is awesome.
Have you never seen this episode of the Mystery Science Theater 3000?
No, I'm gonna watch it though.
Yeah, you better.
That's so great.
But also awesome segue because we have Anna D'Antoni, our photographer heroine, as played by Carolyn Monroe. She has a huge body of work. She was in the Casino Royale, like the one with Peter Sellers, The Abominable Dr. Phoebes, Dracula AD, 1972. She was in Dr. Phoebes Rises Again, The Golden Voyage of Sinbad, just like a Harryhausen type thing. Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter, which is like one of those movies that I've seen a ton of times and I have no idea why that one came on my radar, but it did. I love that movie. Sharon's Baby at its core, The Spy Who Loved Me, so she had a Bond girl moment. Star Crash, obviously, where she played Stella Star. The last horror film, Don't Open Till Christmas. Slaughter High, which we were this close to having Slaughter High on this summer Tri-Slash-A-Thon. Yeah, it was on my short list.
We were very close.
Howl of the Devil, Flesh for the Beast, The Landlady. These are some latter ones here. Vampires with a Y, Crying Wolf 3D, Sinbad and the Pirate Princess, Frankula, House of the Gorgon, The Haunting of Margam Castle, Don't Quit the Jibber Jabber, I think, Pocket Film of Superstitions, The Presence of Snowgood. She's been doing a lot of low-budget horror she's been getting older, but she hasn't quit. She's still going at it, so you love to see it. She has an interesting distinction of, I think she's the only actress to have ever been contracted by Hammer Films. Because you probably saw a handful of like the Hammer films there, like the Dr. Phoebes ones, obviously Dracula, and then Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter is also a Hammer production. So she was like one of the only like they had actors, I think, that they had contracts with, but she's the only actress that ever had a contract with Hammer for multiple roles. And another fun fact, so this is a low budget movie. We're not going to make any bones about that. A bunch of like between, William Lustig, and, all of the, other like producers and stuff that were helping him out, they managed to scrape together, I think, $135,000. And the last producer that they got was actually Carolyn Monroe's husband, who threw an extra $200,000 into the production, but wanted her to be the heroine in it. So like, hell yeah. Which you have to imagine they were psyched about, because I'm wondering, you got Carolyn Monroe to be in this, like, basically like guerrilla production you're doing, like on the streets running wild production, and then you get your extra money. Like, that feels like a win-win for their crew.
I don't want to show my hand here, but like the two of them have a lot of chemistry, and I think we'll get into that later. I'm talking about Joe Spinell and Anna D'Antoni.
Why did you say his name and then her character's name?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Carolyn Monroe.
Yeah, I have sorry, I have my notes all jumbled.
You're solid.
I did the same thing with like Frank Zito, because like he looks like a Frank Zito.
He does, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to, whatever.
No, his real name is like he's very much an Italian guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Next up is one of the...
It's Spagnuolo, by the way, if anyone wants to know.
Yeah, we're going to get to it, because I actually have three Spagnuolos in the cast here.
Yep.
But yeah, first we'll start with Rita, played by Abigail Clayton. Lot of porn. She was
a ton.
She doesn't have as many. There's more later. She had a short but storied porn career, I guess you could say. I think, let me see if I can figure out which ones these are porn. So Love Lips, Femme de Sade, The Spirit of 70 Sex, Naked Afternoon, The Girls in the Band, Desires Within Young Girls, Coming of Angela, Hot Cookies. I think those are all porn. But, Sex World, almost certainly. Oh, actually, Sex World is a funny one, because I was like, that seems like a silly name. And I looked it up, and it was a Westworld spoof. From,
that's great.
The original Westworld movies. It's like, okay, cool. Good to see. Like, at least they're getting creative. But I want to say Bye Bye Monkey, and then there's a comedy called So Fine, where she was like one of the first, like, quote unquote, porn stars to make the transition to more mainstream movies. So that was all I had for her. If you had anything specific to bring up.
Nope.
Next up is the nurse. By the way, this isn't me that's going to be saying everyone based off of who they are related to what they are doing.
Sure.
The movie does, like, the credits do it.
That's what they're, yeah.
Yeah. I think they actually, you can hear the nurses call each other by name, but it's confusing. I'm just going to say it how it is in the credits. So, Nurse, Kelly Piper, Vice Squad, The Curse of Fred Astaire. I'm like, what does that mean? Reckless, and then Rawhead Rex, which hopefully one day we do Rawhead Rex. I love that. The movie's kind of silly. The story by Clive Barker is way better, because based off of a short story in Clive Barker's Books of Blood. But the movie is just like good old silly 80s fun.
Yeah.
Did you Google Rawhead Rex ever? Did you see
I'm
what
on
that
it
was?
right now. Yeah. It's
Look at that guy go.
Yeah, that guy does go.
But it has some elements of like the sort of edginess of Clive Barker, because I'm pretty sure, if I remember Rawhead Rex correctly, he straight up ganks a kid. That's almost unheard of in those movies. So, like, kid just gets massacred in a car. All right, next up is someone credited as Hooker. So we're getting creative with our naming.
Hooker,
I barely knew her. As played by Rita Montone. She's in the exploitation kind of like grindhouse classic Blood-Sucking Freaks. The Children, which is a movie I haven't made you watch yet, but I'm going to get there. And then Street Hunter.
Sure about that?
The Children is insane, dude. It's got to be one of the most low budget of the low budget. It's like about these kids that are
I'm going to read
zombies,
it. I'm going to read it. Hold on. I'm going to read what it says.
Yeah, do it. Do it up.
A nuclear plant leak turns a busload of children into murderous atomic zombies with black fingernails. And what's funny, though, is you could have stopped with atomic zombies, but they had to add the black fingernails. I guess that's
basically the only way you can tell they're just like pale and also have black fingernails.
Yeah.
That's how you know they're evil. But how they kill people is they don't you think zombies, they're going to eat them, right? That's what zombies do. It's what they've always done. Since 1968 anyway. No, they microwave people when they touch them.
So cool.
Yeah. So yeah, stay tuned for the children later on this very show. Next up is Disco Boy. It's played by Tom Savini. I put in my notes, come on, man. Like we've talked about Tom Savini so much. We know Tom Savini. Then we'll go with Disco Girl, played by Hyla Marrow. Hyla Marrow, maybe?
I think it's Marrow.
Vowels
no,
are
I think it's
difficult.
Marrow. I think you're right. You were right the first time.
She's in The Death Collector, Vigilante, Amityville 3D, So Fine, Hostage. In her bio, it says she's the stunt performer in over 80 films, but IMDb doesn't have that many for her, so I'm assuming there must be some kind of a disconnect between, like, if she uses a different name for some of them or something. Well, I don't know. I couldn't find it.
Remember back in the day, though, they did a lot of where they would just hire a team of people.
Oh, so
like
she
they would have
wasn't
like the
properly
troop, or
credited.
not like a troop, but like you remember how they would hire like the company. I can't remember what they call it, but you would see that
so
in the
she
credits.
wouldn't have been credited as an individual. So yeah, that makes sense. Smart. All right. Next up is Beach Boy, but not one of those.
I'm assuming
ones.
that, by the way.
Well, you better be right because we just said it.
We just said it.
You have to issue an apology next time and we'll have a guest then, so you'll have to do it in front of a guest.
That?
I am sure. Is you sure about that? All right. Next is a Beach Boy, but not one of those ones. Is played by James L. Brewster. He was in Waitress, which you may remember from previous episodes. We've brought it up. I don't know what it is. Vigilante, The Deadly Spawn, Wish You Were Here, Sorry About Your Wife, Gothic Springs, The Aerialist, Water Dog. That's spelled D-A-W-G, so you know it's good. The next up is Beach Girl. It's played by Linda Lee Walter. Just This. We're going to get into a couple of people here, Just This, and a couple of people with 562 movies. So next up is Street Hooker, who's the partner of Other Hooker. That's played by Tracy Evans. Just This for her. Next up is The Other Nurse. That's played by Sharon Mitchell. 462 mostly porn credits. I think I pulled out most of the non-porn ones. Night of the Juggler, Class of Nukem High Part 2, Subhumanoid Meltdown, 15 and Pregnant, which was like a Lifetime original movie back in the day, and New York Ninja. But other than that, it's mostly pornography. I think she eventually left the industry to become a psychiatrist or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it must have been after 2007 because that was her last adult film credit. So
that seems unlikely. Are you sure?
Swedish Erotica 107 came out in 2007.
That can't be right.
I mean, that was also like 20 years ago.
Bite your tongue when you say that. Don't tell me about time. Well, I thought maybe it was, maybe I'm thinking of, what was her name? Abigail Clayton, who left to become a psychiatrist. But I thought one of them did.
I don't know. She co-founded the nonprofit Adult Industry Medical Healthcare Foundation, which had a $1.4 million annual budget and provided testing for STDs along with drug and psychological counseling for performers. Is that what you were thinking about?
No. In 1996, she became an addiction counselor and got an MA and a PhD from the Institute for Advanced Study of Human Sexuality. So, yeah, she may have continued working, but she did get a PhD. So,
do you know what she did in 1997?
No.
Dirty Bob's Excellent Adventures 29.
I'm detecting a hint of judgment in your voice, Shane.
And she was in 35.
I'm sorry, buddy, but sex work is work, so we're not going to shame people for their
I'm not
decisions
shaming
here.
them. I just think the way that you're just like going through it is cool. She set up a foundation because there's a lot of stuff floating around this industry that needs addressed, but we're not going to address that here.
No. But these were like, I guess, parallel career tracks for her. So it wasn't like this and then this. It was like a little more blurred than all that. Next up is Carmen Zito, as played by Nelia Backmeister. This Is It. I think the next ones are all This Is It for them.
Sure.
There was Denise, as played by Denise Spagnuolo. That's Joe Spinell's niece. Billy is played by Billy Spagnuolo, who's the nephew of Joe Spinell. There's second Park Mom, played by Diane Spagnuolo, who's the sister-in-law of Joe Spinell. So, seeing a little bit of a trend here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first Park Mom was actually Candace Clements from earlier. She is like, this is her only acting credit, so I thought it was worth mentioning that, because she did work on this. I think she did special effects and costumes, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But as this is one of her only like acting credits, so it's just interesting to have it here. But yeah, so that was all to say, like bringing in like his niece and nephew, and then his sister-in-law, and being a writer on it and being an actor in it. Like, yeah, Joe Spinell had a huge part in this movie. Like this was his project, which is again why when it was poorly received, he kind of took it personally. He also didn't care for like one of the biggest things, and this is why. Did you listen to the song I sent you?
Yes.
So I sent Shane a song.
The Acid Witch.
Yeah, by Acid Witch, called Cheap Gore, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But it has an actual like audio of a news report from LA from this time, where a bunch of groups were upset about a poster about Maniac, and they were saying things about how like women's groups are saying it promotes violence against women, all of these things. And like Joe Spinell took all of that really hard. Like the people thought it was trash, the people thought that it was exploitation, the people thought that he was promoting violence against women, because he thought he was putting forth, he put work into this project. Let's just say he like, obviously he did a lot of research. He researched like actual serial killers, which you can talk more about this in judgment categories, I guess, because we want to talk about the movie.
Sure.
And then we can get into the performances and stuff. But yeah, it's just all to say that he took it pretty hard when this movie did not go over well.
Which is a shame, because I don't think it's deserved. The criticisms weren't deserved. I think people just didn't understand the movie. Now, to be fair, at this point in time, you have a fully unhinged Tom Savini.
Yeah, he's at the height of his power.
Just roaming the wilds of the special effects world. And God, does he get a lot of mileage out of that bayonet, because he uses it in other movies too. So
he loves himself a bayonet. Yeah,
dude,
don't get too into it though. We gotta get.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I understand because at the time people because dude, if you haven't seen The Prowler, like, I don't know what you're doing, but these two movies are like this is prime. Like, I could see at the time why they were having trouble like watching this. Like, didn't understand even how they were doing it without like killing people. So,
oh yeah, I mean, yeah, the work that Tom Savini was doing was bananas.
Yeah,
because hadn't he just done? He did the first Friday the 13th, right?
Yeah, but I think the one right before this one, not The Burning, it was
it would have been right before this one. It would have been Friday the 13th, actually. I want
Would
to
have
say.
been?
I believe so, because it came out in 1980 also.
You have the technology. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, it was definitely Tom Savini. It definitely came out. So he worked on it before this, but I think it came out after this, which is kind of confusing.
Yeah, because Eyes of a Stranger, The Burning was 81. So The Burning was right before The Prowler.
So it's basically just Tom Savini doing like back to back to back.
Yeah.
Absolute bangers. Unstoppable. Yeah. An expert at the height of his craft.
That's the truth.
All right. Next up, it is time for the plot description. What?
You missed one famous person that was in this movie for like 30 seconds.
Whomst?
Frank, I think it's not Pesci, it's Pesh, I think. He was the news reporter in the helicopter scene that was given like when they were doing the flyover of the city. He's been in a ton of shit.
I didn't even put him in my notes.
So he was in Maniac Cop. He's like in a bunch of movies. He's never really like a star in any of these, but he was in Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, Midnight Run, Middleman. We go through some newer stuff maybe that people would know. He was in Creed, like the boxing movie.
Yes, I know what Creed is, Shane.
But I'm just for the audience.
Okay. He wasn't in Creed the band, is what you're saying?
No, yeah, he was in Creed. He's Scott Stapp's. Never mind. I was going to say something. He's the translator. So yeah, he was in Maniac Cop 2 and 3. He's always playing like a on-screen kind of like secondary role, but he's in 91 different credits. So I thought it'd be good just to bring him up.
Good on you, man. Good look. Almost let me get away with it.
Good looking out.
Good looking at.
And sorry, I kind of like crushed your transition, so my bad.
Yeah, it was like a really good transition too. It wasn't even. Yeah, it was barely a transition. But you're right. Let's transition into the plot description. Maniac sounds. I don't know what you're gonna put there.
Maybe just him moaning.
Dude, let's not even get into that.
Because there's a lot of it.
There is a lot. Yeah, they want to make sure they get their mileage out of his moans.
And it's not like a weird like wailing moan. It's like a.
No, yeah, it is. It's like almost like a groan. Like, ugh. Like, what are you doing?
Well, I assume it was like a self-soothing kind of thing that he was doing. Because there are a lot of scenes where he gets in those, and we'll probably talk about him, but he gets into those modes where he's like, kind of like when your dog's all freaked out, like doing weird shit to like make itself feel better. So I think because you find out what happens to him as a child, so like, I think he was doing a lot of self-soothing, which is what that noise is.
Yeah, no, it's something like that. Something's definitely up. But without further ado, without talking more about self-soothing dogs, let's start in media res with just some pervert breathing heavily and some of them.
Hey, speaking of moaning,
yeah. Anyways, so I started moaning. But there's and then he's got like them beach binoculars. Throws a quarter in that bad boy. You know those binoculars, like at sightseeing places,
yeah.
You put a coin in, you can see stuff like barely better than you can already see. They're such a waste of money.
Sure are.
But yeah, through the binocular vision, as he continues to groan and moan. I'm just going to say G and M for groan and moan. So that
G and M.
Yeah, he's G and M'ing.
Doing some G's, some M's, some hard M's.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to commit to hard M's, but yeah. Definitely some soft, prolonged M's. We finally get one of our first production credits as he swivels the binoculars over to a couple on the beach under a blanket. The woman is very cold. She's trying to get the man to go get firewood. It's like, on a beach? In the winter? I don't know if it's winter. It is, because it's almost Christmas. We actually do establish that. And New York must not have a lot of
Are they in L.A.? So they're in New York or are they in L.A.?
They're in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in New York for sure. They have to be.
Yep.
Because I saw the World Trade Center later. And I was like, oh, this must have been before 9/11.
Must have been.
Had to be. There's no pictures of it otherwise. But yeah, so anyways, the woman is feeling cold. Wakes the man up. After some convincing, he finally gets up and leaves her behind. Not seeing the behind him in the reeds, the maniac is lying in wait. Oh no. As he approaches, she thinks that it's her boyfriend until suddenly the maniac, he caresses her a little bit, but then instantly takes a straight razor to the throat. Pretty abrupt murder. I feel like her scream would have been heard by the boyfriend, but we're gonna pretend that sound doesn't carry on a beach.
Well,
I
those
guess
oceans,
it wouldn't
man.
because of ocean. Yeah, ocean.
Yeah,
makes
those
sounds.
oceans.
Yeah.
But like, you gotta appreciate a movie that does not waste time.
No,
Because like you don't even have time. Like, imagine I'm thinking like of Siskel and Ebert. Just getting his popcorn, like sitting down, like, oh yeah, hey, let's get a good new William Lustig movie, and then instant like throw a cut, like not even, dude. There, it's literally been like 2 minutes,
moments in. It's
yeah,
moments
like,
into the
there's
movie.
weird moaning, and then throw a cut, like.
Yes, and it's gory. It's a straight razor to the throat. This is Tom Savini at his most powerful. Yes,
I know. He charged up all year for this.
Yeah, this is his spirit bomb.
Yeah, right.
Actually, I feel like all of these years of his releases are basically just a giant spirit bomb unleashed upon the horror world. But yeah. So she's dead. Obviously, throat cut.
She made it. She's fine.
She's good.
She's good.
All right, relax. We're only a little bit into the movie. Okay, so because we haven't had title drop yet, so sometime later, across the darkened beach, we get some cool synth tones that start to pick up amidst some gulls as the boyfriend arrives, and he smiles because he thinks he sees his girlfriend snug in the sleeping bag. But oh no, sudden garrote from behind. He's picked up off the ground by the maniac and is garroted, blood everywhere, pretty gnarly. I think that's when we finally get Maniac title card, isn't it? Or does it happen even later? Oh, it happens even later.
He wakes up. He wakes up straight
later.
from the dream. It's like he's like reminiscing in his brain about this.
Yes, because he wakes up, the maniac at home, Frank himself, he wakes up screaming with like sweating. He's got tears running down his face. He's having a hard time. He glances around with like concern at his empty apartment. I thought there was someone in bed with him. It turns out it's just a mannequin.
Just a mannequin.
Just a mannequin. Don't worry, there will be more.
Chekhov's mannequin.
And then this is once then the credits finally start up. Like we get the title, we get the actors, we get everything. As the credits roll, we get a glimpse of the maniac and his surroundings. He checks his scarred torso. Might be something about that. But yeah, he looks at his scarred torso in the streaked mirror in his apartment, which is decorated about as creepily as you can decorate a place. Lots of dolls, lots of mannequin parts.
Can we talk about this room?
I'm going through it. That was what I was doing.
Okay, cool.
But,
all right.
Let me get to the end of my observations I have in the notes.
Sorry, I have a lot to say about this movie.
No, you're good. Please do. But just let me get through my initial observations.
Yeah.
Several candles, some lit, some not, seemingly at random. A TV that's on, but it's all snowy. It's like it's on just for spooky ambiance. Photos of random women and also paintings like of random women around. Truly a maniac's abode. So that was how I was describing it. Is there more you wanted to point out?
Yeah. So like, I love movies that don't explain a lot because then in your brain, you're trying to put a lot of things together. There is one detail in this room that I noticed that creeped me out more than any, like of the dolls, of the weird TV, of all the blood on things. Because we're going to find out soon what he's doing with these mannequins.
Oh boy. Will we ever?
But, did you notice the wall of keys?
Yes.
Okay. So, he is a landlord, right?
Correct.
Like, yes. Dude, that is messed up. Like, that to me, out of all this stuff in there, is probably the most problematic thing going on in this, is that, like, and if any of you have lived in an apartment building, like, you just be living, like, above or below someone that is literally like cutting people's hair, like scalping people and putting them on mannequins and like calling them their mother or something. Like
Spoiler alert for what he does with them.
Yeah, but I mean, like, dude, it's insane. Like they set this room up so well, and but they don't really like explain a lot. Like, so the whole time you're like, because the room is a character in its own kind of right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So like they do a great job at like framing different things that are around and like stuff that that you will never get any answers to. Well, kind of a little bit later at the end, but
a little bit, yeah. But like, I think he only interacts with like one of his tenants the entire movie.
Yeah,
I want to say,
because that's not even a point of the movie. Like that's just like that's why I love this movie so much, is because there's so many little things that are just they just happen. Like they're just like happenstance, or you just take it at face value. So I thought that was just kind of crazy.
Yeah, like he literally lives his life, but the only way to know he's a landlord is to observe it. It's very interesting how it shows rather than tells.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the Maniac's getting dressed, putting on some trousers, flannel shirt, some leather boots, getting fixed up for a chilly evening in New York. This is where I put in my notes, actually had that bulletin board with all the keys on it.
Mm-hmm.
As he leaves, we notice he grabs a large leather bag. Can't be up to anything good with that. Then outside, we're treated to some shots of Times Square from a more sleazy era than today's more touristy version. Eventually, the shot settles on two prostitutes discussing the ins and outs, pun intended, of their business. One's talking about a dude who asked for something weird, while the other one is talking about how she needs rent. What is it? He said he wanted the ultimate, but his idea of what the ultimate was different. It's like, what was his ult? Was it bees?
Was it bees? Oh no, not this again. Hey, was the city wet? Did you get a good wet?
New York is wet in this. New York is wet. This is the New York that I was missing in Maniac Cop. New York should be wet in this era. You're laughing, but it is wet.
I know. I as soon as I saw it, I'm like, we're going to talk about this.
As soon as you saw that New York was wet, you knew that I was like, hell yeah, that's my New York.
Hell yeah, this is the New York I've grown to love.
No, but it's true. And I guess we should address it now.
And Jason didn't take Manhattan yet, so like we're pre-wet Jason in Manhattan, but we're
this is before we have wet New York and wet Jason.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the exteriors in this movie were shot without permits because they didn't have it in the budget. So there's like shots of things that seem like they're kind of rushed, and it's mostly because they literally like there's a shot coming up that I'll mention it when we get there. But
pocket
it's like,
camera.
Yeah, it's like we got this done and we gotta go now. Yeah, it's like there's a very guerrilla like filmmaking quality of this because they didn't have the money to like actually get permits for everything. So yeah, but yeah, the Frank, the Maniac, he rolls in to our two hookers that are hanging out. The one he approaches the one that needs the rent. She asks if he wants to go out. Explains the pricing. I wrote it down: 25 for regular, 50 for French and regular, 75 for around the world, 100 for ultimate. It's like,
do you know what this felt like?
Like a
in Beer
McDonald's
Fest?
menu.
No, Beer Fest. When he's doing comes up to the car.
Yeah, when he's like
ZJ.
Like, yeah, it's like it's this much for ZJ. It's like,
it's
what's
$5. I touch it. $10. You touch it while I touch it, and then $10 if I touch my toes and you touch it.
Yeah, and he's like he says the ZJ is like, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. Yeah, it was like that. It was like, I don't know what any of these mean. In the hotel lobby, they go inside. Obviously, he's going to purchase his prostitute's services. She asks for a favorite room from, obviously, William Lustig, who's at the lobby as Lloyd, was it?
Al.
I knew it was a name like that.
You were close.
Yeah. It was a name with an L and a vowel. So I was real close.
Dude, I pulled up the photo of this scene. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you, but I really like this movie.
You're allowed. This is a collaborative effort.
I know. I'm going to share my screen real quick because
for our only audio audience, please share.
Well, no, we're going to talk about it. I just want you to see this so I can. What? All right. Notice the patch on his jacket.
Okay.
Was he a war vet? And that's how he got the bayonet?
I mean, it's definitely not
what
text,
a wild detail that
yeah.
like they don't even bring up.
Definitely could be subtext. Yeah, it could be a war
so
vet.
For the folks at home, he has a kind of like a pilot's jacket on, it's not a bomber jacket, but it's kind of like a high like collared, some kind of like jacket. And on the arm is a military patch. It's pretty interesting. So, and he has that bayonet or the garrote. And yeah, so I don't know. Sorry. I literally noticed I pulled the photo up and I'm like,
the patch has a bayonet on it. Is that what you mean?
Well, no, I'm just saying it like that era, he would have been.
Oh yeah. He very well could have been in the military. Also could have gotten it at a surplus store. but
For sure.
yeah, could go either way on that. I just like the blocking in that scene is really good.
Yeah.
I like the blocking in a lot of this. Clearly, filmmakers were doing this movie.
It was so good for like the budget they had too, like, and what they did. They really like, like this sucks, like not getting documentaries on how they made these films and stuff. Cause like, I find these like not low budget, but like it is low budget, but I find these films where they didn't have a lot of money to set things up, or they had to do things with maybe one camera or two. Maybe a guy holding the camera, like they're able to keep it steady and stuff. There's a lot of cool things that happen in this movie. Sorry, I don't know. This is a cool movie.
I think there is a documentary about this, actually.
Is there? Because I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, there's a... Hold on. There's a making of the remake.
I knew that one existed. Is that what the one you're talking about?
I don't know. I thought there was one about this one, but I'd have to dive a little deeper into into the credits of everyone involved, because I thought there was one that was in Joe Spinell's credits, because there was like a 10-minute pseudo sequel to this that was supposed to be used to generate interest and fund an actual sequel, but he unfortunately passed away before that happened. All right, whatever. Let's get back to the plot description. We're only a couple kills in. We got a lot of bodies to drop yet. As he's paying for the room, the Al manages to get a couple more dollars from him for what, like color TV and tax. I'm like, all right, dude, chill out. Just fleecing this guy. You don't even know he's a maniac. And I noticed in the scene that like Frank doesn't even have his gloves on. But I really think that that's kind of part of his thing, is that he doesn't care if he gets caught, like, at all. You know, like, if they find him, they find him. We'll get into it later, but he seems like he very much, like, wants this to end.
I don't think he's there. I don't think there's any planning of, hey, I got to make sure I don't get, busted or leave DNA behind. And then back then, like, DNA really wasn't even, like, as big of a thing as it is now. Like, fingerprints were, but...
What was the John Mulaney bit about that? It's like, it looks like we have the killer's blood here. It's like, gross. Clean that up. Now on to my hunch. So he asks the prostitute in the room, obviously. He asks the prostitute if she's ever modeled. She says, yeah. He asks her to show him some moves like in the magazines. She strikes some pose that I've never seen in any magazines, a number of them.
Yeah. He sure saw them, though.
Apparently, he was very interested in it. Eventually she reminds him the meter's ticking, not a literal meter, of course. It's just that he only paid X amount of money for X amount of time with a prostitute. So he takes out the cash to prove that he has it. I guess to prove that he's solvent. He doesn't need to take it on credit. She begins to undress, but he tells her to keep her clothes on. I wonder if this is going to come up later, that he's interested in the clothing. They start making out. He seems unable to be up to the task, if you know what I mean. She tells him to relax and they can try again. Eventually, they are making out and he's just like, calls her a bitch and like starts choking her out, right?
Yeah, and I think what's really important here,
how sweaty he gets when he's angry, because he went from being regular to being real sweaty.
That scene is insane.
It was
I
very
used it
intense
for one of our promos. Yeah, that's probably, like, we'll get into that later, but that's most, like, this kind of goes to his credit of how he's able to flip on a dime. But I think this scene really establishes that this is not a sexual thing for him. And maybe that frustration was born of, like, he's trying to accomplish something and failed, but, like, a lot of, and, like, because, like, there are movies, like, that with this subject matter that exploit this a lot more than what they did here. So for them to say this was a sexploitation kind of thing, or like, I think they completely misunderstood what was going on. And because there's a lot of times where it could have gotten a lot weirder, and I think he respected like kind of what is really going on with the story, and I think the scene kind of sets that up.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to be inclined to agree. Again, I don't want to get too into it now.
Sure.
But yeah, no, for sure. Like the reception, like, is this violence against a woman? Yes, it is. But it's not like particularly salacious. It is brutal, but it's not like glorified. I don't know. It's just hard. Like, it's not good. Violence on like against anyone on camera is never good. I actually have a huge. I don't want to get into this right now, but like I have a huge problem kind of with a lot of modern movies that kind of like treat death as a spectacle. Like I like John Wick.
The shot is that.
Well, I was thinking
it's
like things
Rube
like
Goldberg.
John Wick. Like I like that movie.
Sure.
But how many like living, breathing people with entire lives did he end in one scene? There's like a body count of 30. So
30.
those were people. Yeah. Like I get it's like fun to watch, but like yeah. So again, but I think that like this movie putting you closer to the brutality feels to me more respectful than just watching people die and supposed to cheer about it, like in a lot of these like modern action movies.
And like the good thing that Tom Savini does, and like this is in The Prowler and a lot of other, and I don't know how much of it's him or how much of it is the director. Like these people die with a swiftness, right? It's not like these crazy prolonged, like 5-minute scenes, right? Like same with Prowler, like open curtain, stab, dead. This scene, like it's very quick.
I sort of agree. There's that pool scene in Prowler that where he booted the girl in the
yeah,
face.
okay, that one, yeah, that was longer. But I mean, but like and then like the strangulation. But it's but
it's not like
it's time to what it would take to do that. I guess it's more realistic than it is a spectacle of like, hey, we're creating this.
What are you thinking of like your torture porns, like your like
Saws,
like,
or your
exactly
Hostel, what I was thinking about.
Like these longer, like drawn out.
Hostel was the
scenes,
worst.
Like yeah, they can be brutal and they can be gory, but they aren't like they don't relish in the moment, even if the moment is still spectacle. At the end of the day, it is. Like I can't say it's not. It still is. But I just find the swiftness and the brutality of a lot of the kills to be easier to swallow than other versions of it. I guess maybe that's my problem. But anyways, yeah, he 100% murders her, chokes her to death. I put in my notes, like, I'm not sure how no one hears her screaming because it isn't exactly the nicest hotel. It seems to have pretty thin walls, but maybe it's one of those like Kitty Genovese situations where everyone heard it, but no one said anything. In any case, Frank's done, but he's immediately upset. He runs to the bathroom to vomit. He says some stuff like, "Mommy, I didn't want to do it," over and over again. Like, clearly has issues. If you didn't think that a guy going around murdering people might have issues, they tell you for sure. But that's not going to stop him from getting his trophy. I was actually surprised by the brutality of this. Like, when he takes out his, like, what does he use? Like a straight razor to, like, scalp her on the spot? It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was, I did not expect that because he didn't do it on the first one at the beach. Like, it kind of, like, panned over and it's kind of,
we just didn't see it.
Right.
They
That's what I
didn't
mean.
show
But,
us,
like,
it
didn't have that full, like,
because we'll see her mannequin later.
We will.
Oh yeah, but in any case, here's the part in my notes where I put "wet New York alert" as the maniac Frank is arriving to his apartment carrying a large item obscured by a garbage bag that's wrapped in. Spoiler alert: it's another mannequin. We gather some time has passed because the neighbor says, like, "Christmas shopping, Mr. Zito." He says, "Yeah, Terry," and like that's the only one of his tenants we've made. And now in his apartment, he has a Christmas tree and a wreath. Like, he didn't have those last scene, right? Like the Christmas tree and the wreath weren't in there.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Yeah. He asks the bloody mannequin on his bed if she missed him, and then moves her to a corner because I guess he's replacing her with the new hotness. Out of the garbage bag again, like he's pulling another mannequin out of there in case you were worried. We have a little bit of internal monologue here, which is interesting because it doesn't happen often. But it's about basically like how this needs to stop. It needs to stop. They all know. Everyone knows what's happening. Like essentially ranting to himself about. And you think at first he's talking about stopping himself, but he's actually talking about stopping women. Like
yes.
He's specifically talking about women. He has some issues with women. He would do very well in the Andrew Tate pipeline, I'm sure, if only the internet had existed then. But he takes out some fishnets And I put in my notes that they were similar clothing to the woman he just killed. But as we learn later, no, they are the exact same clothing. He takes the clothing.
It is her clothing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, as he goes to do that, he nails the scalp that he took to the mannequin's head. So now the monologue that he's going through in his head is more of a dialogue. It's two voices. One is saying that it needs to go out, it needs to go. And the one is like, don't go. If you get caught, they'll take you away from me. Seems like he's of two minds of this whole thing. It is interesting psychologically. I don't know how much of it is real. I don't know what, like, if this is an actual like psychopathy. Definitely seems real to me. Like, seems like a dude who's all messed up. He looks at a newspaper that has the headline "Maniac Mutilates Couple on Beach," which seems to give him some distress because he's the one who did it. But he doesn't have time to be distressed because he has a violin case that he needs to break a double barrel shotgun and put it in there. And he puts in like an X-Acto knife, puts in some shotgun shells. He's just getting this like little,
I'm pretty sure it's a viola. I'm not trying to be weird.
Oh my God. You had to stop me and say, how do you know it was a viola?
The size.
Maybe it was a standing bass. Is that too big?
It's too big.
What was it? Cello?
Too big.
Maybe it was a bouzouki.
Irish or Greek?
Greek.
Too big. Irish is too big too.
You just wanted to show off?
Yeah.
It's almost like you played an orchestra or something, you nerd.
Dorchestra is what we would call it.
All right.
Sorry, that bothered me so much. I'm like, everyone's gonna think this is a violent, and it could be a violent case, and I could be very wrong and an asshole. But because that's a big ass shotgun, dude. It's not like a sawn off. Like it wasn't like a.
Well, that's why he had to
pea shooter.
it was like a break action, so you had to like make sure that he put it like broke it to put it in there. But yeah, before he departs, he offers a Cracker Jack to a doll in a bird cage. I guess it's just making sure, like Frank making sure we know he's a maniac. He's going to offer food to a doll. When he goes to depart, he peeks back through the door at the mannequins and says that he will be right back and sets off into the night, probably to kill somebody. We get some aerial... Yeah, no, certainly not. Why would a maniac go kill people? But we get some aerial shots of the streets. I was like, not easy on this budget. And I looked it up afterwards. It's actually from the Italian Giallo Inferno. A lot of these like aerial shots are just recycled.
Oh,
from that.
really?
Yes. Or at least according to IMDb's trivia, take it with a grain of salt, I suppose. But
I mean, this stuff's usually right.
Yeah. But yeah, we get some tones. And then interestingly, like somewhat bluesy or guitar sounds here. I was like, okay. They're really just like playing with some sounds. Whenever Zito gets to where he was going, it's like outside of a disco called Blossoms. He's sitting near a couple chatting, one of whom is obviously Tom Savini as the disco guy. And then there's the disco girl. And she's talking about how she's waiting for her boyfriend, or her boyfriend's going to be waiting for her at home. And he says, well, I guess he's going to have a long wait, implying that they're going to go off together to get jiggy with it, as William Smith would say. Meanwhile, Frank, is in his car waiting, watching them, doing his stalking thing, giving them some time to get to their car from the valet. I was like, oh man, this disco has a valet. What a time to be alive. I guess clubs do still have valets, but not in my tax bracket.
Yeah, I would say like, it's like not even worth going.
After some driving, the couple pulls over in a parking lot under one of the bridges. She's talking about how her boyfriend will kill her if she doesn't get home soon. It's like, not your boyfriend, but somebody will. Tom Savini's like, your boyfriend isn't here, and he goes to make his move, but she dips it. She's got to play hard to get, saying, oh, isn't this a nice place? They don't see that there's another car following them on the turnoff that turns off its lights on the approach. So, ooh, spooky. This car's trying to follow him. It doesn't have lights on. Then we start getting our G&Ms as the maniac rolls up. After a little more awkwardness between the couple in the car, she asks him, do you come here a lot? And then giggles. And then he's like, yeah. And then they finally start to make out. And Tom Savini's like, do you want to meet me somewhere? And then she's like, where? And he's like, the back seat. It's like, oh, slick. Look at him go.
Yeah, he's like, there's a reason why Pittsburgh loves him. No, that's a Yinzer line if I've ever heard one.
Those are the moves you can only get at the Steel City, baby.
It's like, hey girl, you want to come down the house?
They do go to the backseat. They're making out. Things are getting a little crazy. They don't see that, the maniac has exited the car and is on the approach. The tones increase as the making out gets a little hotter and heavier. Tom Savini removes his sweater, so it's time to get down to business. He's wearing layers, though. He has another shirt on under it. So don't get too excited, ladies.
He has 3 layers on, so if you were all getting like hot and heavy.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. It's winter.
Don't worry about
layers. But the girl, the disco girl, does see the maniac peeping in the window at her. She's freaking out. Tom Savini is like not having it at first, but she's super insistent. This actually reminded me. So after I watched this for this very podcast, it was like late at night, and I was like, "What do I want to put on that I've already seen?"
Not your other podcast.
Yeah, I watched this for my other podcast as well. But like after I got done watching this, I was like, okay, now time to relax with something familiar, shall I? So I put on the werewolf episode of MST3K.
Okay.
And I got to the scene where like there's the scene with the girl and the guy making out in a Jeep, and then she sees the werewolf and she's screaming and he's like ignoring her, and she runs away, like just leaves. And I was like, why would you? He has the car. So she gets murdered by the werewolf in like the most awkward way possible in a mud puddle. But it was like right after I was like watching like my second or third watch through of this, and I put that on. I was like, very different reaction, because she does eventually convince Tom Savini that they need to get out of here. So he goes into the front. He goes to start the car up. Surprise maniac! As soon as they flip on the lights, there he is in the headlights.
It was a wild scene.
He uses his finest soldier moves, runs and jumps onto the hood, and then lifts the shotgun and blasts Tom Savini, exploding his entire head. The disco girl gets a good face full of blood splatter and proceeds to scream. Gets some solid 80s synth that picks up right after that. There's a fun fact about that Tom Savini head, if you want to know. We'll finish the scene first.
Yeah.
She hides in the back, basically just cries and screams as the maniac approaches. She makes no effort to leave. So, even though he seems at first concerned because he's always conflicted about his murders, he does fire. We don't see the aftermath of that one because they didn't have another head to explode. Now, why did they have a head to explode, you may ask? That's why Tom Savini was cast in this role, or at least why they made this his kill, because that was actually a head he'd been using for a while, basically since like Dawn of the Dead. It was like the Tom Savini head. And at that point it was like covered in blood. It's basically not useful anymore. So he's like, whatever, we'll just destroy it this time for good. So, 2 things happened. One is, they shot it with live rounds or with an actual shotgun. 2, because they could only get it in one shot, Tom Savini himself shot himself with the shotgun. And point 3 is they didn't have a permit to do that shot outside of that bridge in New York. So
they booked it. He
fired the gun, tossed it to a guy who was parked next to them, and then they all left. Gave the gun to somebody else and got the hell out of there.
Oh my God. That's
it's like really
awesome.
a one shot at this, because when I fire this gun, I will destroy this.
It's like that meme with the astronaut, and it's like, and then it's like right behind him, it's like always was. And then when it's like something, it's like Tom Savini just shooting Tom Savini.
Yeah, it's just, I remember he's like, he's like, that was a weird experience. I was basically shooting myself, but we had to get it in one shot. So,
that's insane.
You can also tell that was one that they put a lot of effort into, because they actually had, 3 angles on it, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, they really set that up.
They wanted to make sure they got the perfect shot for the shotgun.
That's so funny.
But, yeah.
And that's a big felony in New York.
Yes.
Like you do that here, for those of you that are friends with me that knew my grandfather, they had to take his rifles off of them because he moved into the town that we're from. Like we were lived out in the country and could do whatever we wanted all the time. He moved into the town that was near us, and there was a groundhog in his garage, so he got his 30-06 out and just started blasting it, and obviously missing because he was old. So the police swarmed his house and like took all his guns off of him. But that's the kind of stuff like around here, like not a big deal. In New York, that's like a felony. Like you're doing time for that.
Like, that's why they had to like give the gun to somebody else. They leave in a separate car. Like we're not going to have any evidence that this happened.
Everyone goes in 3 different directions.
I was like, who had to scatter with the car full of like, because they basically filled it with
blood,
like fake blood and like actual
There's a
like
bullet hole.
They put it with like actual leftover food in it to make it look like chunks.
Oh,
like
Jesus.
Like someone's
It's
driving,
so good.
Someone's driving around with that in the car. That's crazy.
Can you imagine getting pulled over?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, my
you have like
spilled.
Yeah.
What do you even say?
What do you do?
What would you do? But anyways,
oh God.
Yeah. Next day, apparently, well, it's kind of hard to tell time, but definitely not the same day. Frank's watching TV coverage of the killing spree that he's doing. The reporter remarks that there's a task force set up by the police commissioner, and evidence from the slayings suggests that it's one person responsible for it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we knew, Frank knew, but now the police know. So Frank's basically watching coverage of his own stuff to see how close they are. Again, he doesn't seem that concerned with being caught, but he is interested in the progress. A very sweaty Frank is brushing his hair and talking to one of his mannequins. He's saying he can't go out for a minute. He needs to wait for some time. What is it? Those fancy girls go out with their lipstick and laugh and dance, but I can't stop them. Only you can. Again, I think he's talking to his other self or something there. But it's also kind of funny because when he's saying that line, it looks like he's looking into the camera like, whoa, Joe Spinell, like, chill out, dude. You're freaking me out a little bit, man.
I can stop them?
What, me?
Joe, do you mean it?
It's a very, like, disconcerting shot. It actually reminds me of some shots in Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, which is probably, this is probably the groundwork for that.
Yeah.
But then he's talking to his other self. He's like, I'll never let them take you away from me. Then he, like, handcuffs himself to the mannequin that's on the bed next to him and starts rocking against it. Saying that he's happy, but then also crying. It's like, this guy's going through it, you know? It goes on for a really long time with him just like kind of like sobbing and like rocking against his mannequin. Like the commitment to the bit is real here.
Again, another like brilliant scene of this is more of a there's no Oedipus complex here. Like this isn't like a lustful kind of thing going on. Like this is literally like, and I think Joe does a great job at conveying that message. Like it's not like he's not like humping that mannequin. Like he is feedling and like trying to again soothe himself.
Yeah, like he has never fully developed, so he's still like seeking comfort. Yeah, from it.
Yep.
But sudden daylight. When we get a swing's eye view that turns out to be one of 2 kids on the park swinging together, which are Denise and Billy. The mothers, again, these are like the mothers gossiping on the bench that are, the kids are, you know, Joe Spinell's.
And this was his niece and nephew, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. And then one of the mothers is his sister-in-law, their mother. So, the kids go run off and they go to ride their bikes and like chasing each other on the bikes. Denise isn't paying much attention. She almost runs into the maniac, but he catches her and he does like a, hey, careful little girl. And it's like, it sounds creepy, but it also sounds concerned. Again, like his delivery is excellent there. And then he looks up and what does he see? Shane, what does he say?
Candace.
No, he sees Carolyn Monroe as Anna. Carolyn Monroe of Star Crash as Anna, who has just taken a photo of him having grabbed onto the girl's bike. And he freezes for a second because he's like, have I been discovered for my murderous self? But then she just turns and starts taking pictures of other things. So she's just a photographer just taking photos of life, you know, trying to do her, what was the guy's name?
He's like captivated by her too. Like,
oh yeah, he's totally into it.
Yeah.
Who did the collection of like, How the Other Half Lives? Was that Theodore Dreiser? Are you going to look it up? So just remember things. No.
Jacob Reese.
Okay, yeah. No, Theodore Dreiser is an author, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then Carl Theodor Dreyer was a filmmaker who did Vampire and Ordette. I always mix up Theodore Dreiser and Carl Theodor Dreyer.
It's common.
It is, man. Everyone does it. Moving on, Franks begins his Maniac G&M. He starts rolling in. He's following Anna. She moves on to take photos of other things. She left her bag by a tree that has her address on it. Like, come on.
The good old days.
Like, it's so easy for a maniac to find you. So yeah, he knows her name and her address, which we see it's Anna. And not a good safety feature for a single woman in a city in one of the darkest times of its history. Later on, we get more heavy breathing Frank as he's in a department store or something, just gazing longingly at all the different mannequins in their various attires.
Some hard G&Ms here.
Some hard G&Ms as it like goes, and it, like, but the music though is like surprisingly soft. Like there's like a lot of woodwinds, some chimes.
Yeah, it's like it's
like, how are we supposed to feel as the audience? It's almost like this is his love story, is these mannequins. It's like, I gotta find a new mannequin so I can put my new scalp on it. Speaking of new scalp, at a hospital, 2 nurses are leaving at end of shift. One offers the other a ride, but the one who is offered the ride is like, no, Ken will be along to pick me up, and if not, I'll just spring for a taxi. The first one's like, all right, well, Jerry's here. You sure you don't want to ride? It's like, no. So she leaves. Nurse 1 basically sealed her fate. She checks her watch. Then she looks at the newspaper, sees the scary headline about the maniac killing people under the bridge. We saw it. It was rad. Seemingly impatient and not seeing Frank in the doorway across the street, she decides to go for a walk to head towards a subway station. But of course, she starts to get
She'll be fine.
Yeah, she starts to get that like instinct that kicks in where she senses she's being followed, even though she doesn't seem to see Frank.
Ultra instinct.
Bum, 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 bum. But yeah, no, she gets her ultra instinct in, but she's not fast enough because Jiren's behind her. She is getting increasingly more and more nervous as she's walking, quickening her pace. The breathing becomes even more G&M'd. It started out pretty G'd and pretty M'd, but it G's and M's pretty hard. By
a lot of B's. Like breaths.
Breaths. Okay, yeah. So we got GMs and B's. We got our groans, our moans, and our breaths. Eventually she gets to a subway station, perhaps safely even. She quickens her pace and is in the light of the station, so it must be safe. She counts out her change, drops her change, and then she looks and sees the maniac coming. It's like, oh, come on, how many mistakes can you make? Finally gets a coin she needs, puts it in the what is it, the turnstile or whatever. Able to get through. She gets in. It's like, oh, she must be safe now, right? Oh no, she gets to the subway car and it's already closed. She's slamming on it, but no one's there. She can't open it because it's closed. This is going terribly for her. Train leaves. She sees the maniac is now on the approach to the platform. Oh geez, better get out of here. She flees to the other side, which has another set of stairs, but then all the exits there are blocked, which seems unsafe. Can you block all the exits on one side of a subway station?
No, it was the 80s though, or 70s, so
late 70s, early 80s. Like people could still smoke in hospitals. So even there were no rules.
And airplanes.
Airplanes could smoke?
Yeah.
Jeez, what a time to be alive. Call Lightning McQueen, or I guess that was cars.
And now we just have chemtrails.
Now we have chemtrails.
Before it was just Marble Reds. They were just.
I always like the idea of people who are like, now we see all these chemtrails from these planes. If you look at like any video of the U.S. and basically anywhere near where planes go, it was like way hazier back then. Like our air quality had gone up, but then now we're like, oh, never mind. Actually, we never needed these. So let's roll back all our regulations for environmental stuff so we can get back to the smog days, baby. Never mind. We're not here to get political. We're here to get maniacal. Get physical. Anyways, she goes up to the other side of the platform. All the exits are blocked. She hides in one of the bathrooms that's up there. We get some GNMF. That's some groaning and moaning. Frank gets up the stairs. He notices the exits are blocked. He's taking his time here. He's like doing his stalking. Like he's got the scent. He knows she couldn't have gotten out. So she must be around. He walks along until he finds the bathroom. She's in there gasping, trying to hold her breath. She's doing a terrible job of it. Frank 100% hears her breaths, her bees, as you will.
Yeah, I had to rewind this the first time. Like, did he stab her? Like, is she struggling to shut up? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
she's just scared because there's a murderer pursuing her.
For sure, but like, you'd think like the fight or flight would kick in, and you would shut up.
Well, yeah, but
I feel this was a really intense scene.
This was probably the most tense scene in the entire thing. It's just,
I agree.
So yeah, essentially, yeah, he stalks up like down the row of stalls.
She had some G&Ms.
She did. Well, she had some B's,
some hard B's.
But I don't know if maybe some G's. I don't know if she had any M's. Yeah, so the Frank goes in, he's like going down the stalls. He finds the one that's obviously the one where she is because the door's closed, but he's like, he turns towards the camera again. I'm like, are you telling us you know she's there, but you're going to leave? So he goes to leave. And then once he gets out the door, she starts to shudder a little bit, like she thinks she's safe and everything. She releases her breath. She like looks out the stall, doesn't see him. She's like, okay, I must be safe now. So she goes to exit the stall, and she like takes like 80 years to walk down this row of stalls. It was terrifying. She finally gets to the sink and breathes a sigh of relief. She's like, I must be safe. Now it's a guy who's like on drugs. I'm probably nothing crazy. Definitely not a maniac. So she leans down to rinse her face off, but then as soon as I saw the shot, it's like, oh, he's going to be in the mirror next when she gets back up. Surprise! When she stands back up, he's in the mirror.
Does he waste any time?
He wastes no time. He stabs her straight through the back in through her chest with like a bayonet instantly.
Dude, I had a really unhinged thought.
What's that?
Of a good movie idea. It would be like this scene like this where she's in the bathroom. And it has like a Blue's Clues moment where it's like, which stall is she in? And like, it's just like the killer's like standing there. And it's like, and then the audience is like yelling, but then like it flips to real life and it's like, who's he talking to? Like the killer the whole time is like doing one of those Blue's Clues narrations of his whole life.
That would actually, yeah. I wonder if there's anything like that out there. That is a cool idea.
We could do it. TM.
That means trademark.
Hey, pay us so we can make good movies. We would do it.
We will take money for movie making.
Yeah.
I'm an expert at mise en scène. But I mean, I took a film class or two in college. That's being a little too modest. I took a lot of film classes throughout college and grad school, but in any case, yeah, she's dead. He stabbed her straight through the back. Basically instant kill. It's very quick. Yeah, she has time to like let a slight scream out, but not enough. He does like the whole creepy things, like "This is what you like, isn't it?" Like over and over again. It's like, yeah, Frank, don't be a weirdo. Getting his HBs, his heavy breaths, if you will. But you know what? He's not a dirty boy. Oh, he is kind of gross, but he's not that dirty of a boy. He rinses his bayonet off in the sink to make sure that it's cleanliness. Back to his apartment. He's talking in like a weirdly soft voice about how it's a little blood. It'll wash out. You have to be more careful because like her nurse uniform is stained with blood.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you notice, a lot of his kills like haven't been too bloody. There's blood where he puts on the scalp, obviously, but not a lot of blood for all the other stuff. But then we realize as an audience, he's sitting there dressed in like an evening robe. Yeah. With sunglasses on while he's putting together the nurse's mannequin, which again is covered in blood. This is when I realized he's dressing them in the victim's clothes. But don't worry, smash cut to another red location. But hey, kids, that's just a dark room. That's how they worked. The lights were red. Anna's in there developing her photographs. What are the odds? The exact photograph that she's developing right now is the one of Frank when he's got the bike. Sudden ring at her doorbell, which she answers. It's Frank. This is when he's dressed like Leisure Suit Larry. He identifies himself to Anna as the one that she took a picture of in the park. And instead of being like, how did you know who I was and where I live, you freak? She invites him in and he asks to take a look at the photos. It's like, is she not like, hey, how'd you know who and where I was? Just like, no, just looked up a photographer in the phone book and found you because there's only like probably one or two in New York, right?
So this scene, along with a couple others, he is so slick. And it's kind of crazy how well he portrays, like, how they talk about, like, serial killers that are so charismatic and can like, just kind of fit in socially in situations that you would never expect him to. Like, for him, how unhinged he was to this moment, I think that was, to me, was like, this cemented it for me, like, of like, damn, this is a legitimately good performance, because you buy it, right? You're like, damn, I like this guy. At least I was like that.
This is a side to him that we had not seen. This is a whole new Frank to us.
Because you're like, how did this guy get this far in life without people figuring this out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then he has
happens,
this side.
like,
this is the side of him that other people usually see. Like, we've been privy to his, like, inner life.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing, like, what he is to the world, which, again, is complex and interesting. But unfortunately, Gene Siskel never made it this far. But yeah, she's like, yeah, he asked to see her photos, and she's like, oh, okay. She's like, showing some of the photos. There's like some pre 9/11 ones because there's Twin Towers in them. Yeah. They have like an interesting philosophical conversation, and it like borders on his psychopathy, but he manages to like spin it in a way that it seems more like endearing.
Yeah.
Because he's saying stuff about how she should keep the photos and not sell them. And she's like, well, I'm a photographer, I have to sell them. He's like, well, they preserve beauty forever. And she's like, well, you can't preserve beauty forever, even in a photograph. And then he like goes to like an old timey photo of like somebody who's probably her like grandmother or something. And he's like at one point, the photographer who took this was able to hold on to her forever, implying that this woman's dead now. It's like, man, he's really spinning this in like an endearing way. But like, we know that what he's actually doing is hammering scalps onto mannequins dressed as women.
Yeah, right. He's an artist.
Yeah, that's his art. Well, then it's interesting you say that, because then she's like, what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm a painter. I do some abstract, some still life, some landscapes. I'm like, what the hell, man? You just do all art? Like, you do every kind of painting? I don't think that's how painting works. You just, yeah, I do a little bit of everything.
Some pastels, some oils, some acrylics.
Sometimes I paint by numbers with my watercolors. Then he just like immediately like asks her to go to dinner. Talks about this like Italian restaurant in Jersey,
Clam Casino, baby.
and then, yeah, Clam Casino. And then she's like, "You asked me on a date," and he's like, "I am." And she's like, "Okay." And they go, and she goes to get ready. I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, you just like got a date with Carolyn Monroe instantly?"
Straight up in a leisure suit, no less.
In a leisure suit, he was debuffed for this encounter, and he still managed to get the critical success. Then she goes to get ready, but when she leaves, a picture on the wall catches his eye. It's of a model that we will later learn is Rita, but I put in my notes this must be Chekhov's model, because she's definitely going to matter later. At the restaurant, Frank fumbles instantly and says that Anna's the most beautiful woman he's seen since his mom. I'm like, geez, Frank, chill out, dude.
Turns it around.
You know what? He does, because then she asks for a picture of his mom and he shows her one. And then that's when he's like, yeah, and then she was killed in a car accident shortly after this. And Anna's like, all right. Like, she's like not put off by this at all. I'm like, come on, Anna. But then she does kind of like pull the ripcord on this. She's like, oh, I need to be back to my apartment by 9 to finish up with Rita, one of my models. Meaning they have to call an early night on their date. And there's some back and forth here where he almost like gets into incel mode. It's like, oh, so she asks if he's free tomorrow night. He's like, well, something will probably come up then too. She's like, well, we'll see. I'll see you on Thursday at the show. He's like, yeah, and 5 million other guys. I'm like, no, don't. You're sabotaging yourself, Frank. Don't do it.
He salvages it. I don't even know how, man. Because I figured he was going to bump her off after the meal because of that. But no, the next shot is sometime later. I don't think it's the same night. I think it's a different day, maybe. Or it could be that later that night. I don't know. That's what I thought, because she brought up like she had to get back to finish the shoot.
Oh, yeah, so he's finishing the shoot.
But I think he's wearing a different outfit. Let me look. There's a photo of it.
Check the evidence board.
It's kind of what I'm doing here, getting receipts.
Get on the evidence dungeon.
He's in a different outfit.
So it's a different day.
Definitely a different day. It
It's not
has
even
to
the
be.
same day.
Yeah. He's in a turtleneck and a sport coat.
Still, aggressively 1970s attire. But yeah, so he walks in and like lingers and is like watching for a little while. Lou, some guy who's there who's apparently in charge of the shoot, stops the shoot, saying it's all wrong, the makeup's terrible and everything. We do identify Rita from the earlier photo, and then Anna tells her that her necklace is giving too much glare, so she'll have to take it off. And like Rita remarks something like, "Oh, it's from my mom." Anna is not alarmed that Frank is now at her place of work. She's actually seems pleased that he's there. He gives her a present that's just basically like a box for like printer paper, but with a bow on it. Yes. And
I thought it was going to be a head.
If this were different, if this were like a more straightforward movie, maybe. But no, she opens it. It's like a cute teddy bear. She seems to like it again instead of being creeped out. I'm like, is Riz off the charts? Anna introduces Frank to Rita, and he manages to be smooth enough to pay her a compliment. He says something like, "Oh, from the pictures, but you're way more beautiful than your pictures." She's like, "Oh, you." It's like, "Frank, you sly goose, you." But then Lou is like, "All right, Anna, all the models are being paid by the hour. You need to get them back to work." So Anna tells Frank that he's welcome to stay, but hands him the bear to hold on to, and then she walks away. But then she's sort of like arm in arm with Rita as they walk away, which seems to get Frank into G&M mode. Mm-hmm. So he starts moaning and groaning, and Lou's right next to him. He's like, "Lou, do you hear all this?" And like Frank's like clutching the bear while he's G&M, and I'm like, "Ooh, what's going on, Frank? You having an incident?" But Lou can't hear the breathing, apparently. Frank notices. You're pulling up his outfit.
No, just this scene. So like, he puts his glasses back on. This is probably one of the most unhinged scenes, next to the strangulation where he's like super sweaty. But like, just the way that he's able to switch characters, like it's almost like two people are playing this character, like this role.
Yeah.
Where he switches straight to the G&Ms.
The G&MF, the grown and known Frank. But yeah, no. So that he notices Rita's mother's necklace where she put it. So Lou gets up to go elsewhere. So that gives Frank the opening to go up and grab it. So Frank's setting himself up with a casus belli to go visit Rita at some point. Surprise! We cut to outside Rita's apartment, and she's arriving home. It's actually a massive apartment. She must be a very successful model. Can you imagine an apartment that size in New York? We have a lingering shot when she like walks into her like foyer of a cracked closet door. It's like, "Oh, is Frank in there?" No, it was a fake out just to freak us out. Rita goes and hums to herself, goes about her business, goes to her bedroom to change. Warning, brief side nudity. It's actually quite a bit. This is probably the most nudity of the entire movie is like her scenes. Yeah. She starts up a bath. She go to draw a bath. Some thunder's happening outside. I put in my notes that suggests ill portents because thunder is bad news. Bad bombings, as Jar Jar Binks would say.
Who wrote that song?
Jar Jar Binks?
No, the song you just sang, the lyric.
I think Modest Mouse.
You sure?
I don't know. I couldn't imagine who it could be otherwise.
You could imagine.
Yes, I do. Don't say it here. Don't say it on.
I tried, Zon.
Not like this. But the ill portents are correct because the doorbell buzzes and it's Frank there to return the necklace. Although Rita is at first uncertain as to how he achieved this visit, she is pleased to have her necklace back. She doesn't notice while she's talking to Frank that he like slyly like moves his hand to like the door latch and like does something to it to prevent it from being able to latch. So, Rita, somehow not totally disconcerted by his sudden arrival at her home, heads to get her bubble bath. He's gone by then, obviously. She didn't just do that while he's in the house. The shot lingers on her in the bathtub for like a really long time. Again, that's probably the sleaziest this movie gets, until the camera like pans into the hallway, and then we get like Maniac's trembling hand as it moves into the frame. Like, oh, he's here. He's gonna do some stuff, but it's gonna be pretty messed up. We cut to later. Rita's finished her bath. She's in a robe. She heads to the kitchen to start preparing some tea. But then on her way to the bedroom, she's pounced by the Maniac himself. They had some distorted audio that you get in these movies sometimes that I never quite understand this, like why you do that, distort the audio like that.
Yeah.
Especially in this movie, which seems to not want to do that very often. It seems like a weird choice in this scene. We cut to an exterior shot briefly of like outside the apartment building, but then we go back up to the bedroom where Rita's now tied up on the bed. Did you notice what she's tied up with?
No, was it a cord?
It was like, yeah, like electrical cords.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was very weird.
Like the from like a clock or something, right? Like
Looked
a
to me
lamp.
like it's from like a lamp. Yeah, like a lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't clocks usually be wound?
Not like the clocks, like the radio ones you have the alarm on them.
Oh,
They, like,
sure,
sit on
fair
your
enough.
nightstand.
Yeah. So he's talking to her, saying that despite her hair being different and looking different, he knows it is you. The you being his mother, I'm sure.
Yeah.
She's, as he's talking to Rita as his mother, he told her that she was wrong to hurt him as a child. She didn't know that he hid in the closet and watched her while she was doing stuff, implying that she was, hold on. He says that he always knew she would come back and now she's his. So he thinks that Rita is his mom.
Right.
She didn't need those other men because he loved her and there were so many other men, implying that his mother was a prostitute.
Yep.
There's a lot going on here. There's a whole bunch.
How's Rita doing at this moment?
Not well. She's gagged and not having a great time. What was it? There's something else I wanted to bring up that was kind of weird about the scene, other than his psychological problems.
He has like a moment where he like snaps out of it and he's like, I'm not going to hurt you. And he's just talking to her. And then she starts talking to him and then he snaps again. I thought that was pretty weird.
Oh, yeah, because he takes out her gag.
Gag, yeah.
Yeah, so he does pull out his switchblade, but he does say, I never wanted to hurt you. There were so many other men. And then, Rita's actually holding it together quite well without screaming throughout all that. So, yeah, I didn't put in my notes when he pulled out her gag. He did it, and she just, kind of a champ through most of that, monologue there.
Yeah, so she's tied up. It kind of pops in. He's kind of having this little psychotic break. And she's kind of making noises, and he's like, hey, look, I'm not going to hurt you. I just have some questions for you. I just want to talk to you. And then he's like, if you promise not to scream, I'll take the gag out, and she agrees.
Yeah, and again, she's a real champ about not screaming that entire time. But then finally, she asks Frank not to kill her, and he says he's not going to kill her, but he's going to keep her so she'll never go away again.
Yeah.
And then he puts the gag back in, and we know what that means. He's going to do a mannequin of her. But he does stab her just straight through the chest, killing her pretty much instantly. Then he falls on top of her and starts rocking, calling her mommy. So it's pretty messed up stuff. He's going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Then finally he sits up and he tells her that she's not going out tonight, and then scalps her. So, ta-da! Immediate cut to new mannequin dressed like Rita, now in his bed. He made short work of that mannequin.
I know.
The camera pans to find Frank lighting more candles in his apartment. It's like, what would really help this creepy ambience? Some more candles. He's talking to one of the mannequins, but also himself. It's never quite clear. It's like sometimes he's talking to his dead mom. Sometimes he's talking to a version of himself. Sometimes he's actually talking to dolls or mannequins in his apartment. He says that you have to hide in the closet when mommy tells you to, or what happens. And then interesting part, he like takes a lit cigarette and he burns the boy mannequin that he was talking to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like implying like that's where his scars we saw earlier came from.
Right.
Then he sits in a chair nearby and he puts on like, this is a weird scene. So he puts on like a winged ball cap and then takes out a toy gun and starts playing with it.
Yeah.
Then he picks up a Christmas music box of some kind. He winds up and it plays Silent Night, and he puts it down to play, and he takes out the toy gun again. So it's like very much like a regressing into his childhood moment. And then he takes out another gun and fires it. And is that a real gun intended to be because he's shooting targets, or is this because like the sound made it sound like
BB.
Like it was a pellet gun, maybe? I just didn't know if it was like 70s style sound effects that it didn't sound like a real gun.
Nah, I think it was a pellet gun because of the way he loaded it. Like every time he shot, he had to pull it like back and shoot it. So I think it was a pellet gun.
All right, fair enough. But it is daylight now. Frank calls Anna from a payphone asking if she would like to take in a show tonight. Because that's how you ask people to go to the movies. But then she's like, what does he say? He's like, can you be ready in 15 minutes? And she's like, I can be ready in 10. I'm like, what? That's an insanely short notice for going to a movie. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like advanced age, although he's older than I am at that time. But I'm like, if someone called me and was like, hey, you want to go to the movies in like 10 minutes? Like, no,
I
need way more preparation time than that.
Years.
Yeah. Oh, I need like at least like an hour. Also, background, Twin Towers. Never forget. Frank pulls up his vehicle to a building and honks his horn. Anna comes and jumps into the car. Again, she still doesn't have the willies from him this entire time. Like his Riz level is insane.
Off the charts.
Yeah, like someone, like he's like a...
This guy pulls.
Yeah, he got his Riz Scouter out that Vegeta gave him, and he hit it, and then it exploded right off his head. But yeah, so she gives him a kiss on the cheek to thank him for sending flowers to Rita's funeral, kind of giving us a sense of time. It's not like immediately afterwards. But then also like, thanks for coming to the funeral. It's like, oh, Frank, you dirty dog. You rolled up in the funeral of the person you killed. And also, I'm surprised the cops hadn't noticed him. And they're like, would seem out of place, I would assume. But then he's like, hey, Anna, do you mind if we stop by the cemetery so I can drop off a wreath for my mom? Like, I was like, number one, good date activity. He's like, I do it every year. I need to do it. So by the time they get to the graveyard, it's night. It's like, okay, so what about that show you're going to take in? Is that like not a thing anymore? They get to the grave. He puts a wreath on the grave of Carmen Zito. He's doing some Hail Marys, but he's like doing them really bad, and they keep getting worse as he goes. He's like, I'm not Catholic, so I would probably do a pretty bad Hail Mary thing. But Anna goes to comfort him, but then he says, Rita knew. And then she's like, oh, what did Rita know? And then suddenly he starts to accost Anna, but she's not. She's got them. She's gonna throw them hands. She tosses him to the ground immediately.
Yep.
It's like, this is Stella Star you're messing with, dude. You don't even know. He goes to pursue her through the graves. Gets back to the old what is it? G&M or the Maniac? I guess the FG&M. The MG&M, the Maniac. Groaning and moaning would be too weird, so we'll do the FG&M, the Frank groaning and moaning. He's chasing her through the graveyard, through the rows. Synth music is going crazy. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the zombie attack at the end of Spookies. It was like really going for it.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
Yeah. So
that's good. That's a good analogy.
So Frank loses Anna in one of the rows of graves, and he like stops, but then again, like. She's playing chess. He's playing checkers. She jumps out from behind a gravestone with a shovel and just swats the dude.
Pocket shovel.
Like she hit him with that thing. Like, and this was like legit. Like she like, it looks like she cut his arm, maybe broke it. And then she like hits him. He falls and she like runs into the fog again. He gets up to resume the pursuit, but as he runs, he like falls over and he gets up yelling "mother" into the foggy night. It's a really well composed shot, actually. Mm-hmm. We get the disembodied voice of his mother saying his name. And he's like doing his child voice, like, mommy, please don't lock me in the closet. I promise I'll be good. Meanwhile, the mommy voice is telling him he'll be punished. And I was like, what in the disturbs down with the sickness is this? Remember Down with the Sickness, the song
I do.
by Disturbed that had that section that everyone hated and they shouldn't have had that song. Anyway, smash cut to Frank being back at the gravestone for his mother, crying for his mommy. Out of nowhere, zombie hand reaches out and grabs him and then pulls him down, and the rotted corpse of his mother is like pulling herself out of the grave and is like face to face with him. It's like, obviously this isn't real. The movie wouldn't take this turn.
No,
but I wasn't ready for it when I first watched this. I mean, granted, that was a long time ago, but I wasn't ready for it. Frank stumbles back home, obviously favoring his damaged arm. He struggles to pull off his jacket, but then when he gets his jacket off, we see like from like the flannel he's wearing, that arm is blooded. There's blood everywhere. Frank has a vision of a woman reaching out to him from a bed. It's meant to be his mother, basically.
Yeah.
And he's like saying, she betrayed me. He's whispering that he'll be a good boy. He's saying, please don't hurt me. Suddenly he's looking wildly around at all the bloody mannequins in his apartment. And if it sounds like I'm going faster and faster, yeah, it's because this scene builds to a crescendo. So I'm trying to like emulate that so it doesn't seem like, and then what happened? He's whimpering, he's crying, he's covered in sweat, he's in his bed. Suddenly he looks up and he notices that one of the mannequins around him are not mannequins anymore. They are people. They start to turn towards him, and then they all seemingly like come to life of themselves and start grabbing various weapons around his apartment. Like they had a machete sitting somewhere. He has knives. He has stuff. Then they start to just butcher him on his bed. They're going for it, man. They're like hacking through the center of him, ripping off his head and stuff like that. Like first they cut off one of his arms, and then they start like ripping him apart until his head comes off. It's like straight up like 1985, like, Day of the Dead levels of like dismemberment and pulling someone apart. The camera pulls back so we can see from like the other side of the room, the bed where the women are in the frenzy, just like ripping them apart. Dawn approaches. We pan across the city skyline. What peace. We see a river. There's a barge on it. Everything is well. The police are coming down the street, heading towards Frank's apartment building. Two detectives get out and head to the door. Rather than knock, because who has time for that, they kick the door in and behold the sights of all of these mannequins around with their scalps on them. All of his generally creepy stuff. These detectives are just drinking it all in. But then they see Frank Zito himself dead on the bed from a self-inflicted gut wound from, I think, the machete. Or was it the bayonet? It looked like the machete.
I think it was the bayonet that he wrote. Yeah.
Was it the bayonet?
I think so.
All right.
I mean,
so the cops.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The cops stand there and regard him, and then the one bumps the other one with the gun, and it's like, and then they both head out of the room. They just decide to leave. Like, no looking for clues, no investigating. We're just gonna leave now. Close the door behind them, but the camera starts to zoom in. And it heads towards Frank on the bed. We get a close-up of his face. As his eyes open up, the cops didn't check for a pulse. Sudden stylized Maniac title flashes on the screen, and then we get soft ending score as credits roll. Dum da da dum. Maniac-ac-ac-ac.
We did it.
We did it. What a film.
Dude. This was
perhaps one of the greatest films in all of American history, some may say.
We talk about a lot of underrated movies. I think this one is the most unfairly rated.
I think it is definitely it. Okay, for one thing, contemporaneously, it was definitely unfairly reviled, I would say. I think it's found its audience since.
Sure.
Like, it's become more of a cult classic. It's become more known. Yeah, like people like us. Like, I won't take credit for it. Other people have found it first. It was on, like, yeah, people have discussed it.
It had 7 years until you were around, so.
Yeah, it had 7 years until I was born. And then I don't know, 5 years maybe before I could have watched it and understood what was going on. And then maybe 10 years before I could have watched it and maybe not been totally traumatized. I don't know. So there you go. That was Maniac.
Dude, how are we going to do this next section?
Do you want me to start the section first?
No, we're never going to tell anyone. Yeah, good. That's Good looking out, kid.
Our next segment is a little something we like to call the McMurder of the movie. Bam, bam.
Insert cool shit.
Flyover.
Oh, boy.
I mean, I have one.
I've got two.
In the words of Bib Fortuna de Wanawanga. Well,
Only money.
that's Watto, but yeah, also an alien who deals in commerce, I suppose. Well, you want me to say mine first, or you want to say one of your two first, and then I'll say one of my only one that I have?
I have one that I think it should be, and then I have one that I think that's what it is. And I think our one that it is going to be the same. So I think you should go first.
Well, I was going to say the shotgun to the head. That was just such a
that's
shot.
it.
Yeah.
But like the one that probably should be is the strangulation of the first one.
Really?
Because that scene is insane, dude. That's like famous. That's what this movie's like famous for.
I found it a little too, I don't know, too
drawn out,
tactile. Yeah, I don't know. It just felt like too real.
Too real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shotgun. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Tom Savini shooting Tom Savini.
I will agree that the visceral quality of the strangulation is good. You won't hear me complain about that.
I just don't want Eric to be right.
You didn't want him to be right when he said it was going to definitely be the shotgun. So the only one
it has to be.
The only other one I was thinking of it could be was actually the him being attacked by the zombie versions of the women he killed in this bed.
True.
But there's two problems with that. One is it didn't happen.
Breaks the rules.
And two is it breaks the rule that it can't be the antagonist's death for the McMurder of the movie, which is maybe a silly rule that we should have never established, but
yeah,
it is a rule nonetheless. We can't say it isn't.
Yeah. We've broken the rule a couple times, so it's not like the rule is bendable. It's more of a guideline. But no, I think it's the shotgun, man. That's insane. Like forget about the story behind it and like what they did and what happened after. That scene itself is just insane. Like it's.
Oh yeah, like even seeing the effect today is like, oh man, I can't believe that
it was
just happened.
shocking.
But then add in the story where it was like Tom Savini's like an actual like head prosthetic of his, and he had to shoot it, and he used live rounds, and they had one go at it. Like everything else alongside it is just like dressing on an already amazing kill. So yeah, I have to go with the shotgun.
I agree with you. Yeah, I'm glad we got through that one because I was kind of worried because I really do think that strangulation scene is very important.
It's very visceral.
Yeah.
It's very, you feel in the moment. I just like, I don't know, when I do my murder of the movie, I'm here for the spectacle, not like the,
I hear you.
like devastatingly realistic thing of someone like slowly getting their life snuffed out by another person.
Speaking of snuffed out.
How is that? That's not even, all right, whatever. It is time for our judgment categories. I know I'm doing race car sounds now, I guess, for every transition. As everyone knows who has listened to this before, our judgment categories are where we assign a letter grade to each of 5 categories, and they are story, which includes writing, acting, effects, music, which also includes sound, and then finally cult factor. Cult factor being that little X factor that makes these movies so special. So let's start out with the story. One thing that I really find interesting about the structure of this story is it feels like it's just like a series of events, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like his murder spree had already started, then we follow it from somewhere in it till its end. But it's so interesting how the story is nothing to do with the victims. which I think you could see that as a negative. Like, yeah, we have no context for his people. We don't see their lives before it. We don't see their lives after it. We don't see the people who mourn them, who humanize them. We just see his side of it. But I think that's part of like the project here. And, you know, this is the story of a deeply damaged, troubled person and the murder side of their life, you know? I don't know how many things we've seen like it before. I mean, we've obviously, going all the way back to Psycho, we've seen dudes with mommy issues killing folks. Like, it's not that new of a concept, but its execution is, to me, what is most interesting about it.
Yeah, that's a great point. And like, honestly, because it is from his perspective, and he knows almost nothing about these people. So like, yeah, I feel like it really puts you in the mind of like you brought up the movie. It's just drawing a blank to me right now. Was it Portrait of a Serial Killer? Is that what
Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
And then there's a couple other ones like there's like the Leslie. There's a documentary that came out.
The Rise of Leslie Vernon or whatever.
Thank you.
Is it called Mask? Is that what it is? Or
yeah.
Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon?
Yes, that's it. Behind the Mask.
Yeah.
You know, and then you have like Creep. There's a lot of stories that surround like from the side of the killer, and all of those offer a ton of exposition and detail, while this one is like you're just as kind of like torn up as he is about some of this stuff, because you have no idea what's going on. You have no idea why you know why he's doing it, but like you don't know how he picks these people, because none of them actually look like his mother. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, he's very opportunistic too. Like, he's not some kind of criminal mastermind who's stalking people and figuring out their habits and stuff like that. It's like, no, he just at most figures out they live somewhere and then just like goes in. And that to me is like what makes it like all the more terrifying. It's like, this guy's like making no effort to cover his tracks. But that's like kind of the point, right? Because part of him doesn't want to be doing this. He's disgusted by what he's doing.
Right.
Like, but he is compelled to do it. That's why I also see the other side of that, where like, because we don't know anything about the victims and there's nothing to humanize them, that's problematic. But also like the project of the movie is the maniac. And I think that its focus is what makes it interesting. So I'm leaning towards A, but
oh my God. Yeah.
All right. I'm just worried.
Yeah,
I'm worried about where we're going to go here, because I feel like we're going to like a lot of this. So,
hey, like, again, out of all the segments we do, these ones typically turn out the bangers of the year.
Facts.
And we've done a good job, I think, at trying to. I shouldn't say we. I'm going to take a step back. You have done a good job, or a great job, at curating 3 of these movies that are probably not well known. I think, you know, you can't say that about Sleepaway Camp or maybe The Burning. I don't know, but you know, we're like, as a group, we are choosing movies that are lesser known that are so impactful. Like, I think to the genre as a whole. Like, there's a lot of stuff in this movie that you see in movies that come after this. Like, you can definitely see DNA of this stuff on a lot of, same with Prowler. You know, so very interesting.
Yeah, no, I'd say this one probably has a little bit more of a fanfare than like a Prowler, because at least this one got a remake.
Yeah, right.
With Flipper's Elijah Wood. So, but yeah, no, this one's definitely like not
a true murderer.
Yeah, this one doesn't have the reputation of your like bigger slashers out there.
Right.
But all right, well, here's, we're going to call it A, right? We did. Yeah,
oh, for sure.
Moving on to acting. I'll let you take the lead, because I feel like you've been revved up to talk about some Joe Spinell.
I mean, it's insane the level of performance that he delivers this entire movie. And you hit on it a lot, like whether you're like, who's he talking to? Like, is it the mannequins? Is it himself? Is it us? Is it himself breaking? Are there 3 different Joe or Frank Zitos? Or there are 2? Is it his mother and Frank Zito? Is it his mother, his child? Like, he does such a good job at portraying someone that's just mentally fractured to a level that, like, that they turn to stuff like this. And then on a dime flips the switch and is charismatic.
Suddenly he's
is
a
likable.
Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Riz Lord, but like the thing is, like, you spent an hour and 10 minutes watching him just mutilate people. Like, this movie could have been called The Mutilator. You know, I know we did The Mutilator. There is some mutils.
The Mutilator does some mutilating, so
he does a lot of mutils. But
mutils.
But in this one, that one scene, I love this guy. I'd hang out with this guy. I'd go get a beer with him. Like, you know, he's like the crazy uncle at the party that you kind of like to hang out with. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, he, on a dime, turns his entire personality and flips the switch again. That only goes to the credit of Joe Spinell. But everyone else did a great job. Like, I don't think there were any performances in this that really suffered or caused like this to drag a bit. You know, the thing that's really interesting, and I would have to imagine this is very hard to do. Kudos to some of the actresses getting killed in the manners that they did, because like they did a great job. And we talk about scream queens, but like, again, with how visceral and lifelike these scenes are, like, I think you need a level of commitment to what's happening in the moment to sell it. Like the practical effects are fantastic. We'll get to that in a minute, but I think the female actresses really kind of sold a lot of what was happening to them. Especially the nurse. Oh my God, dude. That scene was intense. Getting just shanked from behind. So
yeah, and looking at like
I guess.
Yeah, I think that's where you're headed. But yeah, no, like so many of the people here have so few credits, and then you have people they pulled from like adult films that like, and I'm saying, not saying just because someone's in adult films that means they can't act. I was saying reputation speaking,
sure,
most people assume that they can't. But like Rita's performance when she was like tied up, like, man, that was intense. Like, she was really like, I really felt that moment. And then there was like, you know, obviously like even your more stereotypical slasher victim situations, like with Disco Boy Tom Savini, but it seemed like he was doing it. He's doing his Tom Savini. Like, it was good. It fit. There's really no one that I can point to who didn't do their job. And this is kind of impressive considering how few, like the nurse only had 4 credits. The hooker that he killed in the beginning had like 3, like not a lot of credits here, but they are putting it all on the screen, and it's actually quite impressive. So, and then couple all that with obviously Joe Spinell's performance, which is like vulnerable and terrifying and you know, insane. Like, it just goes all these different directions, and he's really working on selling us this character. I think he does a good job of it. Like, he can go from slimy to like debonair and with his leisure suit or his turtleneck and a drop of a hat, you know? So yeah, I'd give it an A for sure for acting.
Yeah. Like, watch the hotel scene in the beginning where he strangles the quote unquote hooker.
That's the name in the credits. I'm not being disrespectful.
I know. I'm just saying, that's why I said that. The quote. Yeah. But like, watch that scene and then go watch when he goes into the, like studio and talks to Anna. Is that Anna, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's insane. Like, it's like 2 different movies. So yeah, I agree. This was a home run.
Although I will say, whenever throughout the movie, when like Anna was there, it's like, I mean, Carolyn Monroe's charming. She's doing great. She seems a little naive. Like, she's really letting this guy close. Then they get to the final scene and she just like handily dispatches him. Like, oh, never mind. It's like,
shovel.
She was in no danger this entire time.
She was ready.
Yeah, I truly believe she was in danger. It's like, oh, never mind. She just housed this dude and booked it into the fog and just left him bleeding.
This ain't my first Maniac.
So, yeah. But all right, A is for acting. Moving on to effects. Do we even have to do this? I mean, it's Tom Savini at the height of his powers.
Some of these were better than the Prowler.
I mean, obviously Shotgun Head But even like
Yeah,
the straight razor at the very beginning, I was like, oh, we're gonna start out with this, and then followed by the garroting, and then I think he kind of followed a less is more approach here. That I feel like they're more intricate in the Prowler, where here they're a little bit more
pitchfork,
deliberate.
that was insane. That's an insane scene.
The pitchfork, or like the girl in the pool after the boot to the face is like bleeding in the pool, and then like they said that she was dyed red for the next like 3 days or something.
Yeah, I mean there's so many practical. I think we need to, because this isn't really effects. The room that they built.
Oh yeah. I mean, we don't really have a place
Insane.
for that kind of thing, like set dressing, design, and all that. So if you want to, talk about it in effects, it is having an effect. So,
Well, like I said in the intro, I'm like, this room is almost a character, and and every scene, and I do mean this. They have moved the mannequins into different positions and doing different things. I'm going to share my screen real quick so you can see this, and I'm going to describe it to the audience. You should check out if you're not going to watch this, and you should watch this, but I know a lot of you don't. So there's
this
no
might be a hard watch for a lot of people. I think
this is probably gonna be a hard watch.
The subject matter.
You should check out the IMDb photos, because they did a lot of good work at like capturing moments where like the thematic moments of like things that are changing and happening in the movie. Like a lot of times IMDb photos are kind of dumb and they don't really like follow any sort of like thing. But like this is the scene right before the mannequins come to life and grab the weapons that are on this table. You have never seen this part of his apartment yet.
We saw the corner of his table, actually.
Yeah, but you haven't seen the wall.
No.
The weird cross that he made, the American flag, the upside down American flag, by the way. All the artwork that's on the walls, did he paint? Because he said he's a painter. Did he paint the artwork? It's a lot of like just a mess, right? And but then this scene, because there are mannequins here that you haven't seen him kill.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, what? It's such a good. They did such a good job at, again, like you said, creating a backstory without talking about it. Like that picture with the baby born without a baby. I said born without a baby, and it's an upside down baby with a, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No,
I'll get off my soapbox.
No, you can be on there. I agree. I think that his place is a living, breathing thing all its own. And they did excellent work with that. And I think that that seeing the upside down American flag is like, oh, maybe he was military. Like, they never talk about it, but it's very possible. I definitely couldn't agree more. I think that factors into it. It was already going to be A, just with Tom Savini alone.
Yep.
But yeah, add in like his apartment and all the settings that they did there. And really even it feels like there's often a sense of place, which is important in setting like a movie like this. So
in low budget, they did such a good job at, you knew where you were, you knew like there was some timing stuff that was kind of weird, but
yeah, I mean, it happens. All right, A again. Moving on to music.
What are you feeling on this one?
I dug the music. I thought there were some parts that were like interestingly jarring, like with the blues music, or when he went to. I still can't get over that scene when he went to the dress shop and was like staring at the mannequins, and there's like soft string music and chimes. Like, what the hell is this? It's like, speaking of rom-coms, it's like, is he about to like fall in love with one of these mannequins? That's what it sounded like.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, that'd be funny.
But I can't decide if that's jarring in a bad way or if that's what he was going for. That's what they were trying to do. But honestly, there's synth tones, there's electronic music, all the things that I love from this era of music. I don't know. I can't find anything to complain about, really. What about you? You're more of a music understander than I am.
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but no, I like sometimes like, and I'm trying to keep our criticisms in line with other times that we talk about movies, but like, I didn't not notice it. And it wasn't like standing out to me of like, there was a moment where I'm like, oh, this doesn't match at all. And then there was never like really a moment where I'm like, oh, this is a banger song. I did like the scene, the mannequins with the soft woodwinds.
That's probably the big standout for me. I think it's the only time I put it in my. Everyone's out to put like, some electronic tones. There's some synths, like some stings, some electronic stings here.
But like on a whole, though, like I think it really did a great job at kind of being in the atmosphere. And there were some times where there wasn't music. And I think it's really important, especially if you are into music. Sometimes not playing is just as important as playing. So there were some scenes where they kind of let the madness in the situation just kind of breathe, and I think it did a lot for this film. So I would do A, but like I'd live with a B too. I don't think this was like, again, this wasn't like a Goblin performance or anything like that. But did it have to be? I don't think so. So like,
I don't know. I feel like we're glazing this thing too much. I think we need to back up a little bit. So maybe this is the place for the B.
Yeah, I think that B's fine. Like again, there was never a point where I'm like, oh, this is like killer.
It wasn't like Killer Clowns march.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel kind of bad though because it is good. Like it is good. It gets the job.
It is good.
But B's not a bad score. B's fine.
B's great. Yeah.
All right. What do you think? I already asked you what you think, but say again. Which one, if you had to choose between B or A right now? Maniac shotgun to your head. Which one are you going to pick?
I'd probably pick A.
All right, A it is. We're going to basically clean sweep this guy right now.
I think so, because like again, like the graveyard scene, they had a lot of really good tension with like the music buildup. The shotgun sound was great. Him in the strangulation scene, like it's hard to get that in close audio without it being too weird. All the breathing and moaning that they put over.
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about that during the music. That sound design. That's part of it. That definitely fits. Yeah, I mean it is dubbed, but it's still a choice though. It's a choice. Yeah. So cult factor, that little X factor that makes these movies so special. I forgot to say that part. I have to always say that part. This kind of gets me to
D,
where I was gonna I had a whole lot to say. Yeah, D for Dracula.
Daniac.
This is where I'm going to kind of get into like the reception of it all. So yes, this was very poorly received when it came out. I think it just came out too early in the slasher cycle. Because at the end of the day, the effects are great. They're amazing. Like they are very real. But as far as like the story goes, like this one's actually telling a story. We get to know the villain. It's not just like random murders or like I'm killing these teenagers because they're having sex. Like, I think this might just been too early in the slasher cycle to get the appreciation it was due. Because honestly, we knew what he was about, that he was going through stuff. He was ill. He was like, he wasn't, I mean, his victims were often random, but it wasn't like that we didn't understand something about the character and everything. They did the work to lay the groundwork. Now, I don't think the psychology really checks out. I'm not a psychologist, but I feel like it's probably a lot of like, armchair psychology kind of things. But Joe Spinell did do research on like Ed Gein, on on John Wayne Gacy. Like he looked into these figures to like kind of understand them. So like that's why it kind of does your boilerplate. Oh, it's because of an abusive parent that made him into this. But what I really like too is like I feel like too many likes in that sentence. That was terrible. But at the end of the day, a lot of like modern media portrays serial killers as like being these twisted geniuses. Like, I'm playing a game of cat and mouse at the cost. But in real life, most serial killers are like some dipshit who just goes around killing people that remind them of their mom. Like they're never like really the best and brightest. And like this guy isn't. He's not taking anything measures to try to like hide who he is. He's just doing it. Yeah, he's just going out and doing it. There's just some verisimilitude to that I feel like goes underappreciated. Now you still get the spectacle of the slasher of it all. But I just think that like there's so much more substance to this than a lot of the slashers that are going to come after it, and it didn't get the credit that it was due at the time. And like again, when I say like the violence against women argument, of course it holds water. He is committing violence against women, but it's part of like his psychopathy. It's not like sensationalized in the same way that it will be in later movies. The other thing is, this movie was sleazy and that it was low budget and it was kind of like guerrilla shot and stuff like that. But it could have been a lot sleazier than it was.
1,000%.
Like, it wasn't really that sleazy. I really think that it was just a victim of when it came out and being like too effective with its kills. I've ranted way too long. I got to give you a chance to get in there. But what I'm trying to say is just like trying to address those ideas of the reception at the time. I just think that it was just wrong time, maybe.
Yeah, and maybe I don't agree with this criticism because I don't think they should change anything. But maybe if the kills were in a different order, like the beach for sure, but maybe not do the strangulation one next. Like maybe do the nurse or something. Where it's a little less, like it kind of builds more into like what's going on, but I don't agree with that. But like, I do understand, but like, I guess for me, like, I don't agree with the criticism of like, oh, it's violence towards women. I mean, he shot a man, his brain is all over the car.
I mean, the second person he kills in the movie is a man, yeah, but his victims are the women. That's
for sure. But okay, we should apply that criticism to literally every other horror movie that came out from like 1965 to like now. Because let's be real, like who are the, like I agree, like horror movies did a better job at being more inclusive of who they're killing, but then that also brought up a lot of other negative tropes towards minorities and other I don't want to say vulnerable populations, but like people that were maybe underrepresented in film. So like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think that argument holds water personally, because then Siskel or whoever wrote that should have applied that to every single other horror movie that came out in the subsequent 20 years that they wrote reviews.
Well, Siskel and Ebert were always pretty leaned against horror movies. They usually came around later, like in retrospective.
Sure, because they had to.
This one they did not, but no, I agree. I think that this is just a victim of its time. It could have been a way sleazier movie than it was. It was very focused on its project, which was this character, the Maniac. So I'm going to say A for cult factor. I think it always was.
Yeah.
Always was.
Always was.
back
Tom
to
Savini shooting Tom Savini. That's so funny, dude.
Tom Savini. All right. Well, that brings us to our last little category here, our little hat on a hat. The last thing we don't need, but we do it anyway. It's called the D-roll. Slot this movie into a section that's either cult classic, B movie, grindhouse, or trash. Which trash, hopefully we never bring you, but here we are. Maybe we did.
We are.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
According to Siskel, we did.
Oh, yeah.
But not Ebert. He liked it.
I don't know that he did. He just didn't specifically factor into the... He didn't leave in the... And what the fact that I was reading on IMDb. He did not specifically leave.
If you and I are Siskel and Ebert, and you said that you couldn't even finish the movie and you had to leave because it was that terrible or that jarring or whatever, I instantly have to go see that movie. Right?
Oh, is that where you're going with it? I was going in a totally different direction. I was like, you ever worked an actual job, dude? You can't just leave because something sucks.
Sure.
Like, that's what your job is, to review movies. Sit and watch the damn movie. Eat a popcorn. Enjoy your evening. Like, you ever worked in a factory, dude?
Yeah.
Get out of here. That's what makes me so bitter
for
about
sure.
it.
For
it's
sure.
It's really hard for you to see the stuff on screen. Oh, must be hard.
Yeah, well, Hostel changed that entire dynamic.
Even so, I mean, give me some popcorn. Have a nap.
For sure.
I wouldn't leave, is my point. That's what I was getting at.
I agree.
But anyways,
I mean, this one's pretty clear.
It's called classic.
Yeah.
There's no debate to be had.
Is this considered, like, I mean, I think it's called classic. I don't hear this talked about a lot. Other than the remake and then the stuff surrounding just the bad criticism. But like,
or the Acid Witch song that I sent you.
Yeah, or the Acid Witch song. But I mean, is this a widely renowned, like within the horror community? Is this a banger?
There's people that consider it to be one of the, big ones of the era.
Sure.
But no, it's not like, again, it's not a mascot one. It kind of eschews those qualities of some of the other slashers, because it's either like mystery slasher or mascot slasher or, those kinds of things. It's kind of doing its own thing. It's like not quite a psychological thriller, but it's still got the gore. So it's like kind of floating in some Venn diagram space. So it doesn't necessarily get the same attention that some of the big ones do, but there's a subset of people that like have an appreciation for this. I think probably bigger than you'd think, but not as big as some of the big ones.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, cult classic. Like,
not as big as me sitting here reflecting on how I should have known what Freddy Krueger's sweater is, and I now realized I got it wrong. So
spoilers. Jeez.
I was just thinking more about it, and I remembered him in Mortal Kombat 9. And
it was red and black in that.
No. Was it? No, it wasn't.
In the game? Look it up.
No. Or was that in... Am I thinking of Dead by Daylight?
I don't know. I thought what you said was correct the first time, and it's not. So, spoiler alert, folks. And you guys own Google and Eyes. So...
it is kind of red and black in Mortal Kombat 9, isn't it?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Anyways. Man,
right.
We did it.
We did it. We got through Maniac.
We did.
I think there's only one thing left to do. We should sing a song about Maniac written by Billy Joel.
I'm here for this. I'm so proud of you that you're doing this, by the way.
Well, don't be, because if it's bad, you got to cut it out.
Should we just do it, and then we'll give the slight backstory.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Sure.
All right, here we go. Let's see how this goes. Frank Zito works as a New York landlord, gathering mannequins each day. Anna picks up the phone. He says that he's bored. Does she know she's his next prey? Oh, scalping young women makes you a maniac. You ought to know by now. Killing these girls won't bring your mama back. Go to a psychologist today. I messed up the cadence of the last bit, but...
Nah, it's great. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah. If you think it's good enough to keep in, by all means.
Maybe the titular moment for the episode.
But just so you know, that actually I didn't write that. That was from another dimension where Billy Joel wrote that. So Billy Joel can't sue us for that because...
he did it himself.
He did it himself in another dimension. Darkside Dave brought it to me.
Fucking got you, Billy.
Nice try, William Joel. Maybe next time. You can't prove that the extra dimensional lich character that I totally invented isn't real.
Oh, geez. But,
well, before we come to it.
Yeah.
Oh, all
sorry.
right. Never mind.
No.
You want to do it?
Rip and grip it. Go.
Rip and grip it.
You got the song in. You earned this.
Speaking of
you
songs,
earned your flowers.
We want to thank our friends at Rebel Revolver for the use of our theme song. So, keep an eye out for them on social medias. I think they have some shows coming up. They'll announce them on their social medias, and obviously listen to them on Spotify, support them however you do the musics. Yeah, good friends, good guys, good music.
Yeah, and they did just release a music video. I would highly recommend watching it. It's very good. The music's great. The video itself is great. It stars one of us, not me.
It does not star. I'm in 3 scenes. I don't like the way that you frame this.
I'm hyping this up, yeah. But it's awesome that they were able to help support us, and they're always great. And coming through for us, so we appreciate it, guys. I guess the other thing too, like we have some new listeners, so welcome. Thanks for thanks for joining us. Like this has been a wild ride for us. So we're 3 years into this, right? In our third year. I would never have guessed we would have been doing this for 3 years. We would have said this a few Aprils ago, right? But we appreciate everyone, the patience. We took that break. And we do appreciate all the jokes, all the PMs or DMs that we get from you all. It means a lot, so thank you. It would help us tremendously if you shared the show with a friend. We don't really like advertise or do anything like that. We post on Instagram and Facebook occasionally, so any support is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, mostly on social media, and then Tom Atkins fanfic forums where only I go.
Dude, that meme took off. I was glad that actually did well. Like, how do you like them apples? I love Tom Atkins, so
we all love Tom Atkins.
We all love.
He's
Tom
another
Atkins,
of Pittsburgh's favorite sons.
I know, but yeah. But then we have some cool stuff coming up on the intermission. But after the intermission is part 3, final part of our 3rd annual summer Tri-Slash-A-Thon. Thanks. We are doing Doom Asylum with a special guest. So this is pretty exciting times for us over here at the Darkside Drive-In.
Special guest, and you know that it's a she. That's how the pronouns by
which out of the bag.
She identifies. So my bad.
Darkside Donna.
Yeah, Darkside Donna. No, remember we already talked about how Darkside Dave has a hard time with his wife, so he wouldn't invite her to our reality.
The alimony.
He doesn't want to give up his bones.
No bones about it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, excited for this. Sad that the summer Tri-Slash-A-Thon is coming to an end, because that also means summer is going to be coming to an end. But
true.
Time goes by so slowly. It's actually not, though. I was making the opposite point.
Truth. But hey, again, thank you to everybody. I think this is going to do it for us for this episode. This is a banger. Like, there is some, we didn't do a PSA, but like this one is a little, this one's a lot. The Intruder was a pretty gnarly movie. The Prowler was pretty gnarly, and so is this one. So if you haven't watched this one yet and you plan to, I just prep yourself a teeny bit. It's nothing like too bad, but the pace at which it happens is a little like it doesn't waste any time. This man has a mission, so he accomplishes it. So yeah, well, I think it's gonna do it for us. I've been Shane.
I have been Stefan.
And I think we're still pulls out, ghouls out. We haven't really thought
pulls
of
out, ghouls out. Yeah. Or I guess if I'm the maniac, I'm suns out, guns out, but it's a shotgun actually.
That's good. That's actually a good one. I love that.
Just for this one moment.
Yeah. Just for the one. I was trying to think of like a good mannequin pun, but I couldn't think of like a funny, like something like malls out, dolls out, or something like that. But I couldn't think of anything like summer related that would rhyme with like doll or mannequin. Like you shouldn't rhyme anything with mannequin. But like
mannequins out. Anakin Skywalker has been destroyed on Mustafar.
Yeah, there it is. I had the high ground.
Got it in one.
Got it in one. We did it.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
He thought he was in control. How wrong he was.
Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club. From Dynamics Media comes a horror cyclopedia. Watching movies from the gates of hell. Covers ripped from a blockbuster shell. Mr. Bosch is the only good car. Jugs and the stuff just can't be stopped. Things get hairy in the werewolf's lair. Turn the corner and the prowler is there. It's the dark side driving. It's the dark side driving. Come to to the Darkside Drive-In. It's the Darkside Drive-In movie club. Shane's the one who runs the show. He produces and keeps the flow. The Savini of the ones and twos. Only Jack Cordell has bigger shoes. Steffan does the bulk of the research. His descriptions just can't be besmirched. Lots synopses are the club of lore. Just like Lamson, you'll be begging for more. It's the Darkside Drive-In. It's the Darkside Drive-In. Come to the Darkside Drive-In. It's the Darkside Drive-In movie club.
From the deepest corner of the darkest universe, two brave hosts battle through nameless hordes of ghoulish monsters most foul, all to bring you the eternal glory of the Darkside Drive-In.
It's the Darkside Drive-In. It's the Darkside Drive-In. Come to the Darkside Drive-In. It's the Darkside Drive-In movie club. It's the Darkside Drive-In. Come to the Darkside Drive-In. It's the Darkside Drive-In. It's the Darkside Drive-In